Hello, welcome back. Hopefully this is working. Let's take a little look-see-loo here. Let's see if everything is up. It says it started streaming. Okay, yep, it's showing on Twitch. Everything is good. Might be... It shows up on my end that we're back. How about that? Up again. Maybe. There we go. Alrighty. Hello everyone. So anyone who didn't see this is gonna be so fun to not stitch together for the YouTube pod channel. But yeah, the internet connection was just wonky. It just interrupted the thing. You thought it was weird when it started and then sent you to an ad before. Oh yeah, did it just kicked you out and made you watch an ad anyway? That's horrible. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we will... Let me go ahead and load up yours before things get too far. Before we lose internet again. Let's see what let's see. Wolfman Warrior Gaming. Yes. Alrighty. If my model's glaring, it's because I'm glaring at my screens, not because I'm glaring at anyone in particular. Hold on. So I think I have this up. Let me look at that. I think this is the right one. Yes. Let me get our lovely writer in the upper right-hand corner. Let me do a little update. You got a long username, so hold on. Wolfman. I might split your username in two. I hope that's okay, just so it fits. Because it's a long one. Right? Me too. How like look at this way, look at that way, look at back and forth. That's right, we back. Oh my god, we're back. I'm setting everything up as soon as I can. Maddie, where are you at? Listen, he might have not even kicked out earlier too. I might be waiting to make sure that this is actually up. Yeah, we couldn't actually fix it. We just had to turn everything off and restart the whole fucking system. Hi, Aaron. Yeah, I can tell it's Aaron. It says your username. It says Aaron right at the front. You're so silly. Let's see. Back like nothing that's what everybody, nothing happened. Oh, but you changed your name. And you still got a little flower on it that still has the bloom badge level 3. That's exciting. That's cute. Looking all nice and fancy. So let's see. Let me read the description here. While I read the little bit that you told me for this story, Wolfman, why don't you go ahead and let me know if there's anything in particular you're looking at for critique feedback, like if you want us to focus on pacing, or if the characters come across a certain way, or if the intro's good, or how the dialogue sounds. Some people want me to focus on a particular thing, otherwise it will just be general feedback. I was like, you can make it shorter, my name. I was like, I could make it longer. Exactly. Where does that come from? Because now I'm in the running for the flower. It's like, oh, Heidenheart knows. It's like watching a certain amount or certain length of the content from somebody, including like the VODs or something. It's like a particular thing you have to do to get it. So let's see. For this one, it says, a fantasy world, Ethier. I'm not sure if I said that right, that is inhabited by Aliri, magical creatures that form bonds with humans so they can work together to make their world better. That sounds cute. This story follows Jorin, a boy on a pilgrimage to Starfall who is wrestling with his faith and growing dread about his home. Instead of a week of lessons and devotion, he finds a very unorthodox priest, his bonded Aliri, to Lieri, with personal interest in him, and a mystery that will follow him home to a grandfather who's slowly losing himself. So one, the Aliri, and then two, is it Lyri? Aliri and Lyri. Those are a little similar. I'm wondering if that's intentional. 3 videos a week. Okay. You're the one for a blue one now? There's a blue one? What's a blue one? Blue flower. Vods, clips, or strems. Okay. So let's see here. I think just general feedback. If anything really stands out one way or the other, that would be good to know. Got it. Alright, I can definitely do that. Also, just out of curiosity, is this a short story? Is this entire plans for a novel? Is this going to be a series of books set in the same world? What's the goal for this piece? Only because sometimes I'll realize what you're going for, and I'll be like, oh yeah, for an online visual novel, this is great. For a traditionally published, consider this. For self-publishing, you don't need to worry about that as much. You know, I'll like change things depending on like once I know what someone's going for. But otherwise, we can go ahead and get started. We're starting with the prologue, and I'll always do the advice. I'm not against prologues. I think some of my raccoons think I'm against prologues, and I am not. I just always say a prologue has to earn that spot in front of chapter 1. It's gotta be good enough, and it's gotta be needed and necessary enough to fucking earn that spot. Hi Zatara, yeah, we're back after internet issues. You have it planned for at least a novel length. Okay, it's gonna be a standalone possible novel length. Got it. So we have, oh, I'm gonna make sure I don't want to be suggesting. I'm just gonna be in viewing. There we go. Just want to be in viewing. I don't want to mess with nothing. So we have some words here in a different language. The Allyric bond of Aelirian found in the teachings from waters of the heart. A lot of the fantasy words I'm noticing are very similar. And that sometimes can be intentional if some words are supposed to be similar, because we're supposed to think of them similarly. But if it's accidental for some of them, be on the watch out for that. The Allyric bond of Illyrian, found in the teachings and waters of the heart. It might be nice if this is important enough to be in front to maybe translate it so that way we know what the Allyric bond is. Hi Lotus, it's good to see ya. I thought the Roots dried up. Nope, Roots had to come out, and I was like, Roots, the internet doesn't work, but it works everywhere else in the house, just not for me. And then Roots just shrugged, and I was like, should I just restart everything? And Roots is like, maybe. So Roots was very, very helpful IT tech support. But they did make me fresh soda, so that's nice. Prologue. Starfall sprawled around the rim of an ancient crater. The city's name leant from the cataclysm that had carved it into the once peaceful plains. Oh, are we working? Is this a font? Because I'm like, oh, the Y here looks interesting, and then the G here. Or am I just having a stroke? Maybe that's just me picking up on stuff. Young Yoren walked the streets of Starfall with his parents. As devout Zorenthal, his parents made nearly annual visits to the holy city in hopes of meeting their Allyri Sele. Hi, Chatty Matty. Yeah, sorry, there were tech issues earlier, so it's probably better that some of my raccoons weren't here to see me fail. This was Joran's 7th visit to Starfall, and his parents had yet to meet even an Allyri Unseli looking for their companionship. What is this? Is this my screen? Maybe there's just an issue here with my screen. Hold on. What's the thing here that looks weird? Yeah, that looks normal on OBS. Oh my god, so there's something wrong with my monitor. This is a great way to find out. This is great. There's some things wrong with my monitor. So it's causing like the letters on my screen that I'm reading to like overlap slightly in this line down the text. To Google Drive maybe? Yeah, but on here on OBS, what you guys are seeing, that looks normal, right? That looks normal to you guys. It just looks funny to me, right? Does this look like a Y to you guys, or does this look like a fancy W on 2 spikes? Yeah, it looks normal to you. Yes, okay, it's just my screen. My monitors is doing something, but OBS is capturing it normally, which is good. So I just gotta cope. I just gotta cope with it. It's fine. So it's not any issue on your end. It's just some tech issue on mine. Yeah, it looks normal on stream. Yeah, there's something with my monitor. I can see it. It's a crack down the monitor or something. Like, it's a particular thing. It's following a line of pixels. Or, like, down the screen. So they hadn't even been able to see an Illyri unsele looking for their companionship. Shella Ron Inma and Sail Vorvinda. I'm probably going to skip over some of the names because I'm not going to say it right. Have yet to meet the Illyri Sele. Why is that? This is not so uncommon, one of the Seleman guides had told Jordan when he asked why his parents couldn't seem to find their Illyri Sele. There were many Illyri and Ethelir and many humans. He looked meaningfully at the large lupine creatures striding beside him. The chances of the two meant for each other are quite low. The large, wolf-like form of the Seleman Illyri Sele was blanketed in a smooth, soft-looking fur that shone with iridescent light pulsing gently over the length of its body. Seleman Cheryl. So there's Selemans, Illyri Sele, and then Unsele. So Sele and Unsele. Okay, but then there's Selemen. Okay. I'm keeping track of all the things. Hold on. Seleman Gerald Selvoring called the creature Say. Oh wait, fuck, I missed the creature's name as being an SAE2. Asking that Joran and his parents call his companion Sial Lornian. So it's based off his name? Because that is his full proper name. Joran had never heard a Seleman use anything but an Illyri Sele's full proper name before. So we thought it very odd to hear that there were familiar names among the Illyri. For each other meeting are quite low. Oh, for finding each other meant are quite low. That's fine. So one of the things I will say is Starfall, I know from your description, is supposed to be the city, and in the later half, it's revealed that's the city's name. But in this particular way, it's a little confusing to the readers to maybe get that right off the bat. So I would maybe, like, could we rephrase this slightly to be, like, Starfall was a city that sprawled around the rim of an ancient crater. That way that the important bit, Starfall is a city, is at the beginning of the sentence, it's more clear what it is. Because this is fantasy. Starfall is not a uncommon description or a comparison in fantasy, you know what I mean? So saying here that Starfall is a name, Starfall's the name of the city, I want it to be more clear, more easily readable for a viewer, especially for the first opening line. I don't want there to be too much confusion when there's not supposed to be. If it was a mystery, then, like, yeah, that could be intentional. But here we're supposed to know Starfall is a city. It looks like this. It's around this ancient crater. So the city, Starfall, was a city sprawled around the rim of an ancient crater, right? It took its name from the cataclysm that it carved into the once peaceful place. Just rewording it slightly just to make it more clear in your intent. That would be one thing. So I was like, oh, okay, Starfall here, this opening line was a little confusing. I'm not against fantasy languages. I actually really like fantasy languages. I think it's really interesting. I think it adds a lot and it's more immersive. But I'm seeing almost an over-reliance on a lot of similar things, especially in the intro, especially in the first few paragraphs, that I'm like, this is going to be a little bit difficult. I'm not sure you want it to be difficult. I think maybe choosing things to be like, oh, okay, maybe something about these animals and their animal companions, I think you're going for like, oh, they should be the Celes and the Unceles, right? But then there's also these Celemens with their that I'm not quite sure. I'm like, is that supposed to be similar? And then those are all S names, but then we also have Saelvorin, and then his companions called Cezael Vorinean, very similar looking back to back. I'm not sure if that's intentional, but that even looks similar to the Celemens, the Uncele, the Cele, Saelvorin, Cezelvorin. It's a lot of S's. Maybe it's my dyslexic brain, but I'm like, ooh, that's a lot. Selemen Jarl, Joran asked pointedly. If it's so hard for a human and a Lyri to find each other, how does it happen? How did you and Cezelvornian come to be bonded? Jarl laughed, stroking Cezelvornian's fur, causing the strands to seemingly ripple through a spectrum of blue and violet tones. The wolf seemed to chuckle as well. It is not usually considered acceptable to ask this question, young man. I know the Celemen doesn't mean to make me feel like a child, he thought. But I'm almost a man and still called little one. It was a quirk of the Vorin that had always struck Joran as embarrassing. Oh yeah, so even here it's spelled differently, but Vorin and the kid's name is Joran. So phonetically, when you're saying it out loud, it sounds similar. You should have jumped in sooner? No, it's all good. You always come in whenever you want. We're here just hanging out. We're here just vibing. Hi, Hellenic. It's good to see you. Always struck Joran as embarrassing. Even his parents were called little ones by elders back home. Jarl went on. But I don't think that this is a problem to share. Most Celemen like to keep an air of mystery. They think it makes them special, but it's quite mundane. He smiled broadly and chuckled. The truth is, we happen to bump into each other. Joran tried to mask his surprise, but impulsively asked, What? Joran and Jarl stepped to the side to allow a large bear-shaped Illyri, fur smooth like velvet with metallic red sheen, to pass. Jarl raised a hand in greeting to the Celemen riding, cross-legged atop the large creature. The bear and Celemen rider were enveloped in wisps of faint pink ethereal vapor. Jarl fell back in step with Joran near the center of the walkway. It's true, the Celemen laughed. The way it's taught in Thervoniel, also Vorniel. So Vorin, Vorinean, Vorineo. So is that similar to them being Celemens? We would expect some fanfare, light something to show this great thing. For almost all of us, though, it's private and quiet. What about the Lyri? No, Lyri, Joran asked. We've been taught from a young age that some Lyri, the gray creatures that often grew to the size of a 3-year-old human, were judges of humans and heralds of the Illyri Cele. Parents always encouraged their children to befriend them in hopes they would choose their home as a place to live as companions, never as pets. The Lyri were protected in the same way as humans and Illyri. What about them? The Solomon responded. They are playful creatures, very in touch with the Aliri. But that's really all we know of them. He looked at Cecil. At least that's all we've been taught about them. The rest is superstition. Jorn's confusion kept deepening the more the conversation with this strange Solomon went on. On the surface, he carried himself with all the orthodoxy of the strictest Vorin ideals. However, just a few days' conversation with the supposed holy man seemed to reveal a worldview that bordered on hearsay. So he is a religious man. And you did say that he's following this basically priest. He's following this fantasy version of a priest. He's a holy man. Is that what the Solomons are? I thought they would just be people who maybe met with the Aliri. Okay. No, they're on tab. There we go. Does Aliri Sele Zezelvornian have the same weird beliefs as you, Solomon Jarl? Oh man, wait. That's the creature. That's the creature's full name. And then this is the title and the person. Okay. Solomon is the human of the pair. And there is a whole faith around the Aliri, with the Solomon mainly sitting as clergy. Okay, so once you find your Aliri, you're basically a holy person? You're basically a spiritual person? Is that kind of the bit? Once you find this fated magical animal companion type spiritual being, then you're one of the sacred holy people? The Solomon let out a full belly laugh, making Jorn's parents, who were well ahead of the two now talking to their own Solomon guides, turn. Great, now they think I'm causing a holy man to stumble, when he's the one with the odd doctrine. Child, where do you think I learned this? It isn't taught in Third Vorniel, and certainly isn't taught in any other sect of Alirism. No, this is something Solomon only catch glimpses from the Aliri Sele. We are allowed to share with anyone, and often do, but most people believe that we are out of our minds when we speak of the Lyri so. So I'm wondering, again, I think this is a really cool world. I think I'm stumbling a lot. And I read a lot of fantasy. I read a lot of high fantasy. This isn't like, oh, I've never read a fantasy book with its own religion and stuff before in my life. I have read stuff like this before. I think a lot of the alliteration maybe needs to, or some of the titles need to be explained naturally from our character Jorn's point of view, so that way we, the readers, kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, like we might be eased into it a bit more. Because our character, while knowing the world, can still describe the world a bit. That can just be something like Jorn thinking, oh, the Solomon were always very far away, distant, serious holy men to him, but he's talking to this Solomon because he seems more casual, more approachable, more anything. And that would let the readers know, okay, the Solomon are these holy figures, and they're normally very serious, right? You don't talk to them a lot all the time. And he has questions for one. We can have more views of what Jorn thinks of the Aliri Sele, and that would let us know, like, okay, the Aliri Sele are these creatures that you can bond with, are these magical beings that you can bond with. But we need, I think, a little bit more of our main character Jorn telling us about this world, because so far I'm like focusing 100% to keep track of everything, because they are very similar and it's very easy to get tripped up and then miss something, and I don't want to miss something because this is a cool cool bit, right? This is a cool thing. This is the beginning of the world. This is the first few pages. I want to be immersed in this amazing, in-depth world you've created. But I think I want that to happen a little bit more naturally, rather than feeling like, oh shit, I've got homework, I need to be making notes on the side. But also, this is the prologue, and you said... I'm looking back on what you wrote in your submission. So when you wrote your description, was it just for the prologue, or is that the bit for the whole novel? Because I'm like, oh, if the whole novel is him talking with this thing, kind of like this pilgrimage, kind of like oh my god, there's a famous one that I'm forgetting the name of right now. I was like, oh, is this gonna be the whole book, and then the ending of the book is him coming home to that, I think you said grandfather, right? Yeah, grandfather who's slowly losing himself. Is that the book, or is that the description just of this prologue? Just to give me a frame of reference. Where was I? Description of the Aliri Sele. Speak of the Lyri so. Joran saw the Celaman, though he wore a smile, seemed to be quite serious about the topic. But why would people not believe you if you're bonded to the Aliri? Wasn't the Naila Sorrel basically written by them? Why would people choose to believe some of what the Aliri teach, but ignore the rest? Description is what the whole novel is. Yeah, that's gonna be any novel. Any novel has a lot of words. Wait, what? What's happening? What's that in reference to? Humans don't like to think that coincidence exists, Gerald replied. It is much easier to believe that everything has a purpose. Much of what we believe is because we want to believe that our decisions are not fully our own. Our actions can be better justified, we think, if we can believe that our decisions were not fully our own. That's a little bit repetition. Some of the phrases are repeating. So I would double check his dialogue here. To some, it is the highest expression of freedom to accept that one's choices are predetermined and cannot be affected by human will. We thought for a second, then went on. Thus, if someone does something wrong, they can believe not only that they were wronged by a higher power, but that the punishment in response to their mistake is the will of something larger than man. But we are taught free will. In the Thurborneo, it says that man is the only being with true free will aside from Aliri and the brightest one. Now I said the brightest one, okay. So it's a very interesting bit here. He has this long, it should be actually a couple paragraphs, but he has this long big paragraph describing this, not just religion, but philosophy, looking at this worldview, explaining how people interact with a religion, and a way of the universe in a way that's more philosophical rather than strictly religion, which is very, very cool. I like this. That's a very cool way that Jarl's interacting with this kid. He is still talking to a child, though, right? Joran doesn't feel too old. He feels like a younger kid. So I kind of wish he was maybe given a more example, maybe doing an example, like a story, a fable, to tell Joran, to show what he means here, about like when someone does evil, they can blame it on destiny, they can blame it on the gods, they can blame it on whatever, because they're not truly evil, they're just a puppet from a greater being that has to do evil. Someone has to be doing evil. They were just the chosen ones to be the evil one this time around in the universe, in the grand cosmic scheme of things. Maybe you could do a fable or a tale or something to really break this concept down for Joran. I think that would be a little bit more personable, a little bit more maybe in character for him talking with this young Joran. They're in the brightest one. Jarl lifted his eyebrows with a smirk. Oh, thank you for the posture check. Hey, Mash, it's good to see you. Everyone, go ahead and move your necks back and forth. Oh, my models stop making a funny face. Back and forth, left and right, up and down. Crack all those bones. All those bones in your body, if they're... Listen, sometimes they gotta be cracked. Snap, crackle, pop, Rice Krispies. Hello, it's so good to see you. How are you enjoying some of your free time before you go back into your nursing classes and go back to having no free time at all? Let's see. So he lifted his eyebrows with a smirk. Oh, this is what we are taught, but the subtext is that we have free choice, only in which carriage we ride in. No decision is made without the brightest knowing. Surely if man has true free will, no one would know his decisions before he makes them. Sometimes you gotta be cracked is a crazy quote. I don't know what you're talking about. It's totally normal. Totally fine. You're actually at the gym? Oh, you just want to stop by real quick? Thank you, Mash. Go have a great workout. Go get all those muscles. Go get super swole and tough. Go beat everybody up. What's other stuff you do at the gym? Go steal everyone's water bottles. Go steal everyone's gym passes, and don't listen to me. And you have a great night at the gym. Thank you for hanging out with us, though. Let's see. But the brightest, Jorn stammered. Well, nothing can hide from him, right? Jorn noticed a Solomon standing with a large, cat-like Illyri, stepping out of a squat brick structure suffused with light blue energy glowing and fuming in calm, almost lazy whist. That one I think can be broken up into two. That's a little bit of description, like too much description in one sentence, I think can be split into at least two sentences, and it'll be better. It will flow a bit more naturally. There was a calm feel to this area of the street, and Jorn felt as if a strap had been loosened from around his ribs as he walked near to the house's dooryard. Right, but light brightens through the dark, little one, Jarl said. It reveals what is there, not what might be there or will be there. What is there at the moment, the light shines upon it. This is really hurting my head, Solomon. You're telling me. I might have to run headlong into that boulder to get the throbbing to stop. Jarl was pointing ahead on a large stone flat on one end and carved with Illyric glyphs. He tucked his chin and began acting like a bull about to charge. Zael Warnian's fur rippled with blues and violets as he let out a growl that sounded playful to Jordan, as if the Illyrian Selman were playing some game that he couldn't keep track of. I think blues and violets has already been used to describe. I think in the earlier page, that's why I'm also noticing like a little bit of repetition with some descriptions. Step back, little one, he said, gently pulling Norn back as a child rushed past, laughing while a Illyri chased past. Rushed past and chased past, mouse-like feet bouncing off the stone of the street. But then Jarl stood up straight, chuckling to himself, and said, but I think it might be better to just relax to soothe my head. The boulder might prefer not cracking this day. Come now, the day nearly is over, and it is nearly time for the evening meal. Nearly. We should probably catch up to your parents. Before Jorn knew what was happening, the Illyri had scooped both him and Jarl up onto his back and was loping towards his parents, who had made it nearly the Thalorian with their Solomon guides. And that is the prologue. So does it continue? I'm just keep thinking ahead. We're still at the Thalorian. We're still with Jorn as our main character. Business Starfall. We're still here talking with Solomon and Jarl. Is this a time skip at all that I'm just not aware of? But very sheltered. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, what makes this a prologue? Normally for a prologue compared to chapter 1, a prologue is either a different point of view character, it's a different point in time compared to the main story, or it's something, it's a different character, different point of view, different different time zone, something different setting, something is different. And I was just looking through it, and I'm like, wait, I think we still have Joran. I think we're still in roughly the same time space, roughly, right? We're maybe a little bit fast forward, but roughly same point in time. I'm not quite sure this is a prologue. I think you're right. I think it's all just chapter 1. Just to make it more clear. So I think that would be my 2 pieces of advice would be, yeah, I think it is all chapter 1. I don't necessarily think this is a prologue. And 2, I like how immersive the world is, but it has to be more clear. It has to be guiding us. Joran, our main point of view character, Joran, has to be guiding us and giving us more thoughts and more interactions to let us know what the Salaman are earlier, what the Aliri Sele and Aliri Unsele are. What are these characters? And I would even consider, I know some of them do have to be similar, like Sele and Unsele, those are obviously going to be similar, as well as the Salaman. This is all in reference to each other. It makes sense those words are similar. Some of the other words, I think, have to be more distinct. They can't be quite as uniform. They can't be quite following the same pattern, because they all just do start to blur together. And then when Joran had that, or Joran had that one sentence, like here, it was, does blank have the same weird beliefs as you blank. There's only like half the words here that are normal to us as readers, as just on the second page of this, and then the other half are all like, wait a second, doink, like let's process this here. We had to dissect this a little bit. But if they had been more naturally and organically woven into the text, it would have been an easier read. So that would be my main points, unless there is something in particular you want me to like look back on and give you feedback on. But that's what I'm seeing as like what would be the greatest pushes to bringing this up to traditional publishing standards, right? Where I'm always looking at giving the biggest, broadest feedback first, because that's normally the most useful and the feedback you can take to multiple other works, not even just this one. That's why I explained like what a prologue is versus a chapter 1, and why like having your own language and your own terminology and your own region's belief systems is great. It's very immersive. It's great world building, but it does have to be naturally introduced to the character, to the reader. There we go. I know words. I swear, sometimes I have a thought in this brain of mine. The brain cells like connect sometimes, and I have a coherent thought. But otherwise, that would be what I would say, unless you want me to comment or mention anything else. I was thinking prologue is probably still just chapter 1 still. Yep, I agree with you. Prologue, we normally use it for something different, character, different point of view, different time zone, different something. It has to be noticeably different. And I think this is all continuing with the same character, same roughly point in time, same setting. I think it's all just chapter 1. I agree with you there. I think we're ready to take the header out. Yep. So it's the next morning. I'm gonna see where it continues on. I think we're only, yeah, I think we only have then the first chapter here. Doesn't go too far past that. Hi, Jack the Tiger. Welcome on in. So I'm glad that at least makes sense to you. At least that one critique makes sense. But otherwise, let me go back over here. Let's see. But yeah, otherwise for like a smaller thing, and this isn't like a developmental edit. I normally work broader with developmental editing stuff first. But if you're looking for more like very technical craft line things, I would say I did notice some repetition, either of phrases or descriptions or of words that were a little bit jarring. So I would maybe go back in after a little while and double check to make sure that you remove any too accidental, too close repetition of phrases and stuff. That way you'll read more organically when anyone goes over that. are dense for beginning. I think it's not too dense as long as it was described and introduced better. I think have our main point of view character, have that kid think about things, like have him have thoughts like, oh, the Salaman are the religious group. They had already been paired with their animals. Most of them seemed so lofty. His parents always talked with them. He was too anxious to approach them. But this one seemed more approachable, seemed a little bit more jokesy, and he started asking him questions. That right there already lets the readers know, oh, okay, these Salamen are bonded with the Sele, and they are religious people. They are religious authorities to be respected. That's a line or two. That is one or two sentences, and that already gives us context, and it gives us context from our character's point of view. It gives him motivation. So I'm just saying, like, give context, give more description from our character's point of view to introduce us, the readers, to these concepts. And as long as you do that, then readers can actually handle a lot of new ideas and beliefs and characters and races and all the different things that a world building has. They just have to be introduced. You just got to explain them a little bit in a way that makes sense for your character. As long as you do that, as long as you do that little nugget of intro, then the readers normally can take it and go. We're good. Let's see. But otherwise, I will delete this from the queue. It's meant to not sound like he's from the same country. He's a foreign implant. Settlement are viewed as religious authority by the layperson. But not every Salaman is part of the organized sects. Okay. So even then, yeah, that's a lot of description for me to know here. That's you're giving me out of text. I want that kind of info organically in the text. I want to know like our character Joran thinks his name Jarl is funny. It sounded weird. He's a teenager. He likes hearing funny, silly names. He probably thinks it's from all the way out in the east or up north and lands he hasn't visited yet, or down south, he's heard tales over there. He wanted to ask him about that, but then got sidetracked asking him all the religious questions about the animal companions. And then he goes to bed that night being like, oh man, I forgot to ask him where he's from, right? Little things like that. It's still in context of your character, but it's giving us info. It's letting us know, like, oh yeah, this person's not native here. Their name sounds weird to our teenage character. Different stuff like that. Just giving us those little nuggets. How do we interpret this? What do we know of this from our character's point of view? Because our characters always are eyes in our brain for how we interpret everything in the story. Yeah. And that's fine. Who's next in the queue? No one else has asked, I think. Let me double check the Discord. I think it was just Wolfman who asked. It was Raccoon Channel 6 News, which we did, and then it was Wolfman. Zatra, I think you're in the queue, right? Let me go ahead and check. Let me edit this. Yeah, Zatra, you actually have 2 submissions. Jaw is like a cool youth pastor for him. And it's totally fine for our character to learn new things, but like you said, like his name sounds different. That's totally fine for Joran to be like, oh, that name sounded unique, or it sounded foreign, or something like that. Him to realize, oh hey, not every Salaman I meet is part of the organized religion, could be a great thing for him. So then in the beginning, just have Joran think, oh, like everyone is the organized religion. This is all normal. Which you can kind of do a little bit. Again, I just want more descriptions of the Salaman, of the Sele versus the Unsele. More descriptions of these terms as they're introduced. And then normally it's fine. You to get a spot in line. Oh no, it's just in general chatting. It's not anything too hard, not anything too crazy. But hey, yeah, you already said it here in chat, so that's fine. Oh, you still haven't gone Discord working on your computer again? Oh, that's rough. Hey, listen, we already had tech issues today. I feel ya. I get tech issue stuff. So let me go here. Satra is 11 and 12. So 11 is the pirate pulp. 12 is en France. Which one do you want us to read, Zatra? You have the pirate one, you have the continuation of the French one. Which one are you vibing with tonight? Make it a little more obvious that Jarl is a huge outlier in Joran's worldview? Or is that coming through pretty clear? I think that's coming across clear. Yeah, he's saying things, he's saying like, oh yeah, it's almost like against, he's almost going like against doctrine with some of the stuff he's saying. I think in that sense it's coming through. But I think if he's supposed to be more foreign, he comes from a faraway land, and he's supposed to not necessarily be an official member of the doctrine. If he's from outside the organized religion, I think some of that can be hinted a little bit more strongly. And just Settlement in general. I think you're getting caught on the wrong things here. I want Settlement in general. I want Sele and Unsele and all these other terms to be introduced in a sentence or two after you introduce the term. That's the clearest I can be with my advice. Which one are you in the mood for, Blue Lady? Oh, that's a good question. Okay. Let's see. What is I even saying? The continuation of the French one with the horror, and then the pirate. I think we've already gotten pretty far with the French one. Why don't we continue that? Because I already am familiar with that one a little bit. I think we were doing some really, really good points of before, of pointing out like really good descriptions for horror and suspense and pacing, and we're really getting to the nitty-gritty of things to focus on. So I think that might be a better thing to focus on. Not delete message, hold on. Let's see. So that's good. Hunt in the shadows? Nope. Let me organize everything. I don't want to be in editing, I just want to be in viewing, because I don't want to mess anything up. I'm not gonna be responsible for it. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving myself permission. And this is by Sakura. That's good. That's good. Nope. I'm doing it. I'm a professional. Getting introduced to a new character too. Those turns based off of Fae lore. That'd be interesting. Let's see. I was thinking like Sealy. Like if it's... Let me do this down here. Sealy, like that. I could see that being related to Fae lore. I think I'm saying it right. Unsele Court. Maybe it is spelled differently, but I could see pronouncing it. How it could be Sele versus Unsele. Like that. I normally think of like this. How else do I see it spelled? Oh, you're right. Sometimes it's even spelled versus without the I. Like that. Is that in reference to? I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm kicking. I got stuff done today. I was able to get up and move. That's always a win. That's always a win after my cycle and endometriosis. So I'm doing good. I'm gonna be grateful. I'm gonna be happy. I got some chores done. I started some laundry. I'm feeling better. I'm moving. I was able to get upstairs. So take care of all the critters and all the stuff in the house. So that feels like a win today. That feels nice. Big W's, let's go! Oh my goodness, but yeah, those couple of days on my cycle are always rough. Always, I feel so bad. Sometimes I even like tell Roots to like leave messages and stuff when they come in and check on me, because like I can't stay awake long enough to actually like type in Discord full updates. Oh my god, like I just take medicine and I don't throw up hopefully, and I just curl up in a ball, and then if the pain's too bad that I can't sleep, I go into the shower and until I can sleep again and the medicine kicks in. It's just an endurance run. You just got to survive it, and then after you survive it, then you're good. And that's kind of what happens every month. But you're now actually, now that I'm up and at 'em and getting stuff done again, we're getting ready for our next WOW market, our World Oddities Expo market, that is taking place, I think, here in Florida. I think it's taking place, like, where? Jacksonville? Something like that. Still a ways away. It's still like a day trip for us, but it's still in Florida. So if I have any other cool little critters in the Florida area, there is a World Oddities Expo going on in a couple weeks, 3 weeks. So we got 3 weeks to prepare, make all our patches, make all our cool merch, do all our cool thingamajigs, and get our booth set up ready, and yeah. It's just what happens. It happens every month. It just be what it be. I always say, those terms came in the store, but that's pretty interesting. They're so close. Yeah, they're actually really close. Oh wait, here's my lo-fi beats. I think that's what they were asking, like, oh, was it inspired by that? But if it's not, it's all good. But that's what I was explaining. There we go. Oh, what's up?
Anti-cryptid. I was on the computer, and it froze. And the IT guy told me the dumbest advice. He told me to turn it off and off again. Also, why is Chatty Matty traumatizing me? He shared a gif of a raccoon cleaning cotton candy. I'm scared.
Yeah, I saw that too. You shared it in the Discord, huh? I was like, oh no, everyone's asking for raccoon therapy again. And I was like, my poor raccoons, they're traumatized. Oh my goodness. I would even say, if you want to go for like the accidental, hey, yeah, it's related to the phase stuff, that could be a really, really cool parallel to go with. And you're like, hey, go for it, right? I could totally see that being a thing if it was inspired by. If you don't want the correlation, because it is very similar, I might even consider changing those words, because I think other people, I don't think Jack the Tiger will be the only one to point it out. I think a lot of people will draw parallels to that, with the Sele and the Unsele. It's a very close comparison. If you don't want that fake comparison, I would just change the term slightly, for your story. That way, there's not the overlap. You have more raccoon cotton candy gifts. Don't you dare! I'm not paying for all this therapy. Yeah, that's what I say. If it works and they like it, then like, yeah, embrace it. Be like, yeah, absolutely, that was a big brain moment for me. Pat myself on the back. That's a cool thing. But if there's something in there where they don't want that comparison, if they want to focus more on, so it's like they're sealed. Not for pronunciation, right? Like they're bonded, right? Like they have a bond. Bonded versus unbonded. That's kind of how I took it. Also, Zatara, where did you want us to pick up? Do we remember? It was further on. I don't remember what page we were on, though. So everyone who doesn't like seeing stuff scroll very fast on their page, look away. I should have said that before I started scrolling. Okay, in the 40s. So everyone look away. Don't look. You're gonna give yourself a headache. Oh, so we're like close to the end. Because you only have 57 pages in this document. Not here. Nope. Pass this. Sorry, I'm looking at where we were. I think we're on this page. This is page 46. Oh, so you nailed it, Sakura. You already have a headache. Oh no. Poor Chatty Matty. Good job on nailing it. We're on page 46 though. I think that's exactly where we were. Actually, do have the ending at the bottom though. It's a big jump ahead. Oh, so you're still filling in the spaces. That's fine. Whatever works. Let me kind of do this a bit. Let me do this. So we left off with Jules and the choir pigs. I forget if that's what their name was. That's what I'm calling them. So everyone more in favor of using third person. I think whatever works for your writing voice. Sometimes there's writers that their writing voice is strongest in one particular point of view, or in one particular tense versus present tense versus past tense, etc. Some writers just naturally write better. I would say normally, in general, talking about huge generalizations here, I think a third person point of view is more common, or at least it was. First person point of view is now currently, like as in modern times, like in the past couple years, having a huge resurgence. More and more people are trying to and getting published with first person point of view, which is so interesting. I would say a little harder for me to get into first person point of view, but you know, someone who was actually one of our raccoons here in chat for a while was actually Bobicus. They wrote brilliantly in first person point of view, like phenomenal. You almost forgot it was in first person point of view. It was just so natural, very very strong prose, very strong writer. I think Bobicus had really great first person point of view. If you ever look back on like really older VODs and you see Bobicus being read, that would be a good person to see for first person point of view. And even with third person, there's still, I think one of the tricksy things is some people get caught up or confused with close third person point of view versus omniscient, more distant third person point of view. Those are both third person, but they're technically two different ones. There's two different types of third person, and sometimes writers will accidentally merge and go back and forth between both, and that's one of the really big tricksy things. I feel nearly entirely immense the ads I need for chapter 2 are thankfully isolated chapter 2. That's always good. You love third person? I have only one draft in first. Don't see too many written in second person point of view anymore. Second person point of view. I'm definitely less familiar with. I definitely agree with you there. Yeah, I have to treat third person limited like first person. That's interesting. Let me see, second person. I don't think was ever super common though. It wasn't ever like overwhelmingly. I think it's always been in like a couple of stories, but I don't think it ever was like, oh yeah, there's like a huge like wave of second person, right? Second person is the you. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, choose your adventure kind of books. Some of those are. Some of those are in second person. Some of them are in other point of views too. But I think, yeah, choose your own adventures. They're giving me a couple of different books when I look it up that are like fiction, sci-fi, and fantasy, but it's not like overwhelmingly common. You know what I think actually deters me? I'll admit I always tell you guys when I have a bias for or against something. I will say I think I might even have a slight bias against second point of version of using the you point of view. Because you know what it reminds me? It reminds me a lot of like not necessarily as good fan fictions. The the your name with slash with whatever person or boy band or whatever thing you're reading. It's very in my personal bias. That's kind of what it sounds like, the your name or like a Mary Sue type character fanfic. That's what I normally associate it with. So I think I actually have a slight bias against the you. You open the door and find a raccoon washing cotton candy. The man inside offers you therapy. Now, does that necessarily mean just because I have a bias against it, it's wrong? No. Because every reader in the entire world has biases. And that doesn't mean shit. Write whatever you want to write. Write whatever point of view or tense or whatever thing you want to do to tell your story. Every story is different. Every story needs a different point of view or a different tense or a different method or a different pacing or different format to convey the story. I'm a biased man? Never. Everyone's biased. If anyone tells you they're not biased, they lying. They're a lion. I let you guys know my biases when I realize them to give you guys perspective. Like I let you guys know, hey, I'm not very much of a sci-fi person. So when you guys submit sci-fi stuff, I might be overly critical over some sci-fi elements. But now that you know I'm biased against it, you can take what I say with a grain of salt when it comes to the sci-fi elements. But other things I say, like character voice or pacing or dialogue, you could be like, oh, okay, Cryptid's less biased about that. That's more technical stuff. But when Cryptid's tripping over or the technical jargon for my universe atom splitter thingamajig contraption 3000, that's because she's biased against sci-fi. See, that way you guys can take the advice and stuff I give you with that grain of salt. Oh god. You open the door and hear a rattling near the garbage cans. A curious thing, since you recall having emptied them just a moment before. With some apprehension, you peer over the extra can and see a raccoon. It has flipped one lid over and is... You gape, seeing that it started spitting cotton candy with an expertise that shouldn't be possible for such small and clumsy paws. Yeah, see? You think Stephen King's The Black House starts with second person? Bird's eye view of the town. Takes place in on this plane. Oh. Getting more fantasy the more I edit various stuff, so the sci-fi stuff is getting more and more magitech. Very, very much more steampunk, magitech. What was I saying? But yeah, so you can even see like that. That was great, Jack the Tiger, right? That was super fun. So there's me being biased against second person point of view, instantly being like, oh god, that's the worst thing ever. No. It's just me realizing, oh, I have a bias. I associate something with something else. I'll go ahead and let you guys know those biases whenever they come up. But that doesn't mean you guys should change anything. Like this plane of existence, because that book gets out there. It's all that. What did somebody say earlier? Stephen King was on the crack cocaine. I had no idea. That's funny. It's a pure pirate story. That's cute. So let's see. Where were we? For poor Zatara. Zatara has been waiting here like, excuse me. So the barn was on fire. Jules managed to kill all of the choir pigs. And now we have Leonie. There we go. Yeah, Leonie's here. Thank you, young lady. You shouldn't be outside, though. It's not safe. I'm not safe in my house either, monsieur. Why are you here? Why all of this? She asked, gesturing to the barn, which now radiated the stench of awful with its roof in shambles. Jules groaned, the tendons in his legs now firing off all the pain receptors he had been ignoring. His body embraced the comfort of being halted, and that was the worst thing for him if his job wasn't finished. He made his way over to the Polier. The coop was like a little winter lodge. The construction of it was very lovingly tailored for internal space and insulation. the side of it was caved in. He peered inside, making sure there was no nursery of choir piglets that needed to be pulverized. Oh, that would be horrifying. You peek in, you peek into this little coop. Little baby monsters ready to eat your face off. Hi, Maximum Sharpie. It's good to see you. Welcome on in. Believe me, I tried to get help. I made many stops on the way here from Versailles. His thoughts drifted a bit. Gravity seemed to pull on him a little more insistently. His vision blurred as the fire from the barn grew too high to look at directly. I put out the fire. That's... Yes, I should do that. I didn't... He trailed off. His knees buckled as he reached for a stray milk pail. Leone stared at the knight's boots dragged in the mud. He scooped the bucket full of dirty water before he made his way back to the dying blaze. He tripped, landing face first into the mud. Our man's going through it. Our poor boy's going through it. You missed the beginning of stream. It's all good. It was tech issues. Oh. You were playing the game you and your wife worked on? Oh, that's so fun. The back Jeffy took to the face. He has a concussion now. Oh, poor baby. She ran to his side, and the children sprang out of nowhere to get a closer look. His eyelids weren't shut. Did he die? His back slowly started to rise and fall with his breaths. Nothing drew a response from his eyes, not even the mud that splashed past his eyelids. Nothing drew a response from his eyes. That's an interesting way of phrasing it. I wonder if we could rephrase it slightly. Like nothing drew a response from his eyes. I know it's trying to say, like, oh, his eyes didn't move, his eyes didn't do anything. This is giving me the landlady vibes. Oh, I don't know that one. What's that in reference to? I love the internet stopped working when Raccoon News had stopped. Feeling like it fell off to reach the end. It worked so hard just to hold off until we were done. At least with Raccoon Channel 6 News. Hi, Meeper. Welcome on in. Hi, I'm doing a lot better. I think everyone here is finally hanging out. We're happy to be here again after a few days off because I wasn't feeling good. And yeah, I'm excited to be reading again and giving critique because I feel so like, one, I'm in pain, so like makes sense. Like, oh yeah, I'm in pain. I'm obviously not feeling good for a few days there. But also like doing nothing. I'm incapable of doing anything for a couple days there every month. Like I'm not getting out of bed, I'm not leaving my room. I physically can't make it up the stairs to even attempt to stream. It's just nothing. I feel so like, well, I get frustrated. I don't like being helpless or useless. I don't like not being productive. There's so many things I want to do. I have crafting goals, I have sewing goals, I have knitting goals, I have content creation goals, I have streaming goals, I got business goals, I got things to do with my animals and all my too many cats and hangout time with my family. I have so many things I want to do all the time, always. And then you tell me every single month I gotta do nothing. I'm out for a few days. Oh my god, it's hard. Stream got distracted. Was there any feedback on Raccoon 6 News I missed? I think we were all mostly just being like, oh my god, the stream crashed. But no, it was fantastic. I loved it. It was great. You just keep an alternative. Oh wait. Did you? His eyelids weren't shut. Did he die? Back slowly started to rise and fall with his breaths. Nothing drew a response from his eyes, not even the mud that splashed past his eyelids. I don't see a new one. Where is it? Oh, let me try it in a different... Nope. This one. So suggesting. Sorry, everyone's sneezing. It's a little off. There we go. Not even mud in his eyes conjured a response. Conjured a response. I think that sounds more natural. That's better. I like that one more. I don't know, I'm thinking. Yeah, but I did like that one more. That is interesting though. When I'm in this mode, I can see your updates, but when I'm just in the viewing, I can't. So maybe I'll keep it in this mode, and I'll just try not to fuck with anything. Anything I do, it's still in suggesting mode, so it shouldn't be permanent. It should just be. I'm sorry, that sounds miserable. It just be what it be. I'm Marty instead of Maddie. Oh, that's funny. I want to stream working on the game, but my depression kicks in. I can't even start up the editor. Oh, that's rough, Maximum. Oh, you were worried I was gonna be upset for you doing that with Baby Raccoon? No, I always treat the Raccoon Channel 6 news as it's what it says on the tin. It's by raccoons for raccoons, and you guys are raccoons. It's for the fans, right? I always consider it as a really fun fan fiction thing that I get to hang out and interact and be a part of for you guys doing this fun thing for the Cryptid Roots universe. And I think people who like shame or like put rules on or like get mad or upset over fandom created content, I'm like, what are you doing? It's fandom stuff. Fandoms will do whatever they want. It's fandom stuff. They're playing Barbies with your storyline, with your characters. Why are you being mad over somebody playing Barbies? So no, I'll never be mad about stuff. I with the caveat, again, there are some things I might not be able to share on stream. Like if you make some explicit XXX rated like sex scene or something with whatever characters in the Cryptid Roots universe, all good. Put it up on AO3, go get those likes and kudos and comments, whatever. I just can't read that on stream, right? Because it's more explicit stuff. That's not me being like, how dare you write the illegal kissy scenes. Oh my god, you should hate yourself forever. No, that's just saying like, hey, I just don't share explicit stuff on the stream. That's just the stream rules. But fandom stuff is fandom stuff. You're never gonna hear me hating on fandom stuff. You're always just gonna hear me being excited that fandom stuff is being created and you guys are playing pretend with me. That's all this is. Reading the romance leads to doing the romance. Oh, so scandalous. Kissing before hand holding. Loot mines. Everyone, if you're gonna hold hands with each other, remember to use protection. Okay, you have to wear gloves. No devil's tango in stream. I have somebody who is actually like concerned. They sometimes like there was just I joke about kissy face and stuff, right, to talk about or and stuff, but I think they took it seriously. They were messaging me being like, hey, there's kissing stuff, there's this type of stuff in my stories. That's still okay if I want to submit it in the future. And I was like, yeah, go ahead. And they're like, oh, like it doesn't bother. I know sometimes you're really upset or you feel uncomfortable with sex stuff. And I'm like, well, hold on now. Let's not get it twisted. I get embarrassed reading it to an audience, but I do not hate on adult content. Lord knows I will never show my AO3 stream ever. I'll never show even the things that I like where I've read on AO3. Everyone would judge me. Everyone would be like, Cryptid read that? Everyone would side-eye the tags. They'd be like, Cryptid, what did you read? And I'd be like, listen, no hate. Everyone, different strokes for different folks. Keep going. Mind your business. I have some people being like, you portray yourself as so sweet and innocent on stream, and I'm like, what do you... Just because I'm not reading explicit stuff on stream, how am I that innocent? What's happening here? What are these two extremes? So that was so funny. Someone thinking that I was actually uncomfortable with kissing. But also props to them, thinking that I was uncomfortable with kissing, that they did reach out and wanted to confirm that it was okay. That was very sweet of them, and they probably know who they are, but if they're still here. But so I'm not like hating them at all or like making fun of them. That was stupid that they thought there was something I might not like. They wanted to confirm with it. That is always a really, really nice way to go about it. No hate. I just thought it was really funny. Blue Lady is the cult gooner. Oh no. Cryptid search history started a black box. That's canon now. Archie approved. My AO3 content is nothing like what I submit here. Exactly. Listen, on AO3 we're all different people and that's fine. That's fine. Right? Everyone say that's fine. Yep, everyone nod their heads. Yep, that's fine. But if you hold hands, it means you're married, according to my Filipino mother. My grandmother told my mom kissing causes pregnancy. It's not like they described the kissing as tongues exploring each individual and then sucking out his faces. Banned. Oh my god. That's fucking hilarious. Banned. Can you imagine, as a joke, if we banned you over that and then you had to explain to people, like, why did you get banned from the Blue Bus stream? What happened? Like, you were explaining it to your in real life friends, like, what happened? Why did you get kicked out of a stream? Why were you banned? And you had to be like, well, I was describing... I was describing the kissy face in chat and removing spinach from between teeth and they banned me. That would be, at that point, just lie, say like, oh, I was acting like a bot and I told them to kill themselves or something. So just say that, just say you said a hate crime or something, just do anything else. Mods, cut him down, break him apart, slay the gore of his profane form across the stars. Grind him down until the very sparks cry for mercy. End him here and now. Arya normally writes such cute, sweet, like slice of life inspired stuff, but I think they always do their best work when you just let Arya like be psycho. When you let them have that Arya the scavenger persona come out. It's always so good. I almost said, give me the coming of age speech, which can be summed up as, oh. It's the ooh face. That's hilarious. My mom tried telling me today while I was resting I got pregnant because your dad played tag with me. Oh my god. Opens up again. Yeah, I'm hoping to, now that I'm better, I'm hoping in just a few days. Pours out throat. Arya should scavenge more. Whenever I go about my day-to-day life, scavenger Arya calls out to me like the Green Goblin. Do it. Like that, like Kermit in the Hood meme, like, do it. Do it. You know you want to. Who's gonna stop you? Who will rise up against you? Oh my god. That's funny though. So anyway, our poor guy, our poor knight, he's faced first in the mud and I've never loved him more. I feel like between this and between Hyde and Heart's main love interest for their story, for theirs, that every time I start talking about a male main character that I like after they've been put through the ringer, I worry it gives people the wrong idea of me, that the main two male characters I like say like, oh, like I've never loved them more. I love this male character. What did I say about Ironheart's character? Everyone made fun of me for it in chat, but Heidenheart, like, one point I was, like, reading the character, and I was like, oh, this character, I love them, I want him pregnant. And everyone was making fun of me. And I'm like, no, it just means I love him. It's just me, he's adorable. He's weak and pathetic, and he's squishable, and he's torn to pieces, and he's crying, and I love him. Nothing rash, don't worry about it. Go back to your gym exercises, go back. Let's see. Whenever I get sad, I remember some wise words of Han Solo. Wookiee religions are no match for a good blaster at your side. But yeah, so I just worry this is between Heidenheart's character there, and then this night where he's face first into the mud, and I'm like, oh, I've never loved him more. I worry this gives people the wrong interpretation of me. Bad cryptid, no spicy. Oh my god. Everyone gets some jalapenos. No. Papa Cryptid, oh my god, he can have any spicy stuff. He actually does, whenever he travels, he does all the hot sauce eating competition thingamajigs to get, like, the free shirts or whatever from the different restaurants. He loves hot stuff. He has to make his own hot sauce now, because none of the hot sauces are spicy enough for him anymore. Not even mud in his eyes conjured a response. Leonie guided the children back to the fence, a safe distance from the barn. Even at the distance they stood, the smoke still irritated her eyes and nose. Distance and distance repeated? I was gonna say, like, oh, eyes is repeated as well, but I'm like, it's different characters. I think it's fine. Maybe I'm being too nitpicky with that one, so I'll leave that, but I do think try to reword slightly so that way distance isn't repeated as often. She saw movement on the winding path that led to the church. A crowd marched down, with torches in hand, skittering like an illuminated grubworm in the dark. The pace of their march made her stomach sink with dread. She kept the children wrangled close, making sure they did not sneak back to check on the stranger. She did not know how the other adults would react. The metallic glint of silver flickered with the fire, next to his mouth. A necklace? Get him a Carolina Reaper plant. We've gotten him all sorts of pepper plants. That way he could grow his own pepper plants, and he could infuse them with other hot sauces he likes, and different things like that. I couldn't reply, but I heard you. I remember. I'm so lucky you guys love me at my worst. Hello, is it Lunic? Is that how you say it? Hello and welcome on in. Makes ghost pepper salsa, and I think he made one with Carolina Reaper in it. That sounds cool. It's just nice to be turned into what you said. No. Bad chatty batty. Is this stream about writing? Yes, it is. So this right now is actually from one of our people in chat called Zatra. You can see their username up here on the right. So I read some of their pages, and I give critique and feedback about normally just a few things. But then as someone submits more and more often, I give more and more critique and feedback. And you guys in chat can also give critique and feedback. The only rule is you just gotta be nice about it. All I got left from this chapter is the first paragraph of the following page. There's not much else to the Shallows, unless you want to visit another part of the story. Okay. Gertz, I can no longer have spice. That's pretty vanilla. Madame Tish. That's so funny. I instantly get... Somehow MASH finds a way to, like, ban me from my own stream. Let's see. She's brutal with the longer critiques. I do it with love because you guys are serious about writing and getting your work published, and when you're at that level of seriousness and work and vibe, then you need the serious critiques, and then I use all my blue brain power I can to lovingly cut your work to pieces. To make that way you can make them back even stronger. That way the rest of the world can love your piece. That's the vibe. But yeah, right now the queue is closed because I'm just catching up on a few. I just got a couple more people to read. So in a few days, the story submission queue will reopen. If you want to go ahead and join the Discord, Lunic. So in a few days, I'm hoping to reopen the queue, and then you can submit your piece, and then it can be read here for Petite. Oh my goodness. Discord, yeah. Now I see you lurking in mine when I'm with my in real life friends. Ash is over here so popular with all the cool lurkers. Let me in. Few more days. Let me just finish everything up because I wanna up the story submission thing a little bit. I'm thinking of letting people choose a day. That way, like each day when I read, I can see who wants to be read that day. Can I join? Yep, you just do, you can just click the link right there, and then nice and easy, you just join just that way. Not anything too difficult, nothing too hard. Nice and easy, just to make it a little easier for me to read through who needs to be read in the future. But anyway, so this little bit here of the necklace, I'm wondering, I think it could go either way. So this isn't a critique, this is just like an idea. It's just spaghetti on the wall. You can see if it sticks or not. I'm wondering if this bit should be up here when she's looking more at the night, when she's looking more at Jules. Here he's laying down, also like while she's looking, this detail should be here. And then this scene ends with her looking at the crowd leaving the church. Rather than looking at him, observing him, then looking at the crowd, then going back to an observation about him. Just keep it a little bit more organized. It's an idea, but I don't think it's like a hard critique. I think you can do it either way. You didn't use Discord very much? Yeah, I actually really only started using Discord seriously for streaming here. I was learning a lot as we go. I'm still learning so many things about Discord. Oh my god. It's been a fun learning curve. Wait, what do you mean? Oh yeah, for the how hot the pepper is. I was like, what are you saying that's hot too? That's funny. She will read you like a book. What's so funny, so sometimes when you hear that when a published author likes a particular editor, they stay with that editor because their editor starts picking up not on like general things but particular things that writer does, so they give more nuanced, like specific feedback. Sometimes people don't always get it. They're like, yeah, you just like that editor, why would you change it? It's not, it can't be that like kind of feedback, can it? Some of you guys get so surprised if I've read you a lot, if I've read a lot of your work consistently, when I can start pointing out particular things. Like oh my god, I'll use Hide and Hodge as an example here because I love my little Coyote Guard mod, and I'm gonna poke fun at them today. But like there was like one particular thing where I was like, oh, I feel like you're not describing this particular such and such like background stuff going on with this character, because I feel like it's the cool thing, but you yourself as the writer lost confidence that it was the cool thing. You were worried the readers were going to get bored, so now you're skimming over this rather than giving this the time on screen on the page that it needs, because you're anxious that the readers are going to find it boring, but it's not boring. And then High and Heart's over there like, oh, how did you know? Sometimes I'll even notice some stuff and I'm like, huh, this doesn't sound like your normal voice. Like Chatty Matty had a scene, right? You submitted like another little side story, and I'm like, this scene seems so weird. It doesn't seem like the rest of your writing. What's going on here? Chatty Matty revealed it was something that one of their friends had suggested. It was like a prompt they put in for Chatty Matty. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound like your normal style. It doesn't sound normal. This doesn't sound like a scene you would normally do. It seems different. And they revealed, like, yeah, it was a scene that somebody else had suggested that they wrote up. So sometimes an editor or a critique partner can start picking up on things from the writers. One of your author friends has their own little habits you catch them on. You start calling them Blakeisms. It's so cute, right? Can you give tips on VTubing or YouTube? I don't know if I can give tips on YouTube, because I'm not very successful on YouTube yet. And I'm not sure I'm the best person to ask about VTubing stuff, because I'm still a baby. I haven't even been streaming for 1 year. I'm still a baby. Lore, here's all the lore. I just reread what I have in the queue, and I saw a glaring discrepancy. Oh my goodness. Richard can read your writing like a book. Went to wash my hands since I finished my workout, and all I could understand was, that's hot. That's hot, Mash. Mash is gonna find a way to ban me, I swear to God. Mash is gonna be like, I'm in public, I'm in the gym, I'm surrounded by other people. What crazy stuff is this Blooba saying? I get that because your friends send me their music. I noticed the change in instrumental composition and track stacking and asked them about it and pointed out, and I'm always doing it with, how can you hear the subtle differences in composure? That's so interesting. You can even do that stuff with music. Oh wow. I wish I was like that unique flavor of clever to pick up certain musical vibes. I'm not a very in tune with musical composition, musical notes. But definitely, granted, I listen to way worse in public. Oh yeah, Mash. Mash, what's your search history on AO3? It's okay, this is a safe place. Do not share it, do not. I'm joking, I'm joking. Oh my god, that's hilarious. It was so funny when Penny first introduced me to Mash. So first I was talking with Penny VT here for a while when we were doing gaming stuff. And Penny's the reason why I know Mash and why Mash sometimes is nice and hangs out in my stream a little bit, right? And when Penny was first introduced to me, they were like, oh, I hope you guys will get along. Penny sounded so nervous, like, oh, is this gonna work? Or is Cryptid and Mash gonna like vibe? I don't know. And at first I was worried. I'm like, oh, is this other person like a jerk? Is this other person like super rude? What's the vibe here? What's going on? And absolutely not. I feel like my little chaos grumbling comes out a little bit whenever I start joking with Mash a bit. I think I was actually, every time we were hanging out, I think I was actually the worst one. I was the worst one in the chat and making all the fucking stupid jokes and stuff. I think Penny then like looked at me in a new way like, oh, it's not Mash, this wasn't the one I was supposed to be worried about. It was this new Blooba friend I should have been worried about. Okay, yes, Gremlin is barely contained today. Yeah, you're also on a lot of medicine, right? I think you said that earlier. Oh my god. So that's funny. Let's see. But yeah, so let's see. So Zathra said... Let me go up. I think that's what I said. I'll go from this chapter. It's the first paragraph of the following page. Snow melts to the shallows. This one is another part of the story. So that's where this one ends. We can keep reading a bit. I can't fully finish it. But is this isn't the ending bit, right? Fernando, I'm going ahead a bit. Is this the ending bit? Or is this just the next scene? Like, is this the continuation? We have Gerard here. We have Gerard. Jules. You gotta go. Oh, have a wonderful night, Lunik. I'm a fan, alright, that's so sweet of you. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm like the best person to ask advice from, but maybe another time when we catch you in stream. I stream every other day, so we'll see you another time. And if I can think of anything to help out somebody else who's in my shoes, right, brand new to VTubing and streaming, I'll think about it. I'll see if there's any tips I can give. It's the same scene, but from one of the people in the church. Got it. Okay, yeah, we can read a little bit. We can keep going a bit. was I? It was here. I'm just a dude that likes to roll with the punches, and it's fun once I know the boundaries. That's always one of the hard parts with meeting new people, especially as like adults and stuff. Now, when you're making new adult friends, you're always like, okay, I'm here to chill and make friends and be funny and have fun and do all the cool things with. Oh, fuck, what's the boundaries? What's the tone here? What's the vibe? Someone give me a diagnosis of the vibe. Are we silly here? Are we pushing the edge? Are we potty mouths here? Sometimes I meet like great people that are absolutely in every way like I vibe with, but they are, because I'm like a lot of people think, right? I'm sweeter, I'm nicer. I generally like being nice. I like being nice and welcoming and inclusive and stuff. But I do have a potty mouth. I always say that this is still an adult stream because I curse a little bit. Right here, I say fucking shit sometimes. And there have been people I vibe with so well, but they also don't really like me too much because I do curse. I have to be very, very mindful not to like curse or anything around them, because that's not the vibe they like. So I have to be like mindful of that. But in every other aspect, like we vibe as long as I like watch my potty mouth a little bit. Other people, right? Like I can curse, we can have all the same humor, we can have the same jokes, but there were some aspects where, oh, like they are not a safe person for me to be around, especially like down here in the South. there's some crazy real life stuff going on, you know what I mean? Like, oof, like, oh, you are not a safe person. Got it. I'm gonna skedaddle out of this situation real quick. Even though at first it seemed like we were vibing. It's kind of very much like a whoof, I need a summary report before we proceed. Literally before the game peak, I met you, Penny told me, Mash, I know you can be a degenerate, but you might need to tone it down when you meet Cryptid. And like literally, I'm like fine with cursing, I'm fine with swears, I'm fine with all the bad words and stuff. Like I was so worried, I'm like, oh no, is Mash gonna be like this person who's like using like slurs, like hard slurs? He's gonna be like say like horrible things. I was gonna be like, okay, maybe that's a smidgen too far. But like no, then we vibed on peak, and I was like, oh okay, no, this is fine, we got this. You're no Puritan, Satara. Right, exactly. I want this to be a nice space, a calm space, a welcoming space. We're getting critique, we're getting feedback, we're doing all the stuff here. But like, please occasionally let me say fuck. Just sometimes. Oh my god, I think sometimes people forget that, and I'm like, please no, I'm not a saint. Please. I wanna say a bad word sometimes. The bottle of is it Vince de Pays? Someone who actually knows alcohol is gonna like absolutely fucking laugh me out. And one day I'm gonna hear you unfiltered and I'm gonna be like, oh. I'm gonna be over here like with a secret tape recorder. I'm gonna be like, we'll play it back at you one day. You'll come back into my chat and you'll be like, oh hi Cryptid, how are you doing? And I'll be like, I heard you. I heard what you say. I heard what you said. I know the real you now. Not the blackmail. Absolutely. 100% blackmail. I think it's Vindipe. My Aussie mod went, who are you and what did you do with Maddie? Getting your mods on you because you're not acting spicy enough, that's hilarious. I remember at one point that I had friends in high school, because in high school I didn't really curse. I didn't really curse at all. It was more in college I started cursing. So I had friends in high school and college who, again, I went away for college, right? Who were sex workers, who were doing adult content, who were doing all this different stuff, and they were friends of mine, right? We were totally cool, totally casual and stuff. Like it was fine. Like we were super close. And when I went back and I was talking with some of my high school friends, and none of my high school friends remembered me as the person who didn't even curse, and they were drive home safe, Mash. So they were like hanging out, and they still knew me as like the one who didn't really curse or who didn't really drink or anything, right? I just don't like alcohol. So I was more like the boring one. I was the boring goth. I looked so edgy, but I was like so tame and stuff. I didn't really do much. I was part of the knitting club, for God's sake. So anyway, we were chatting and stuff, and they were like worried about introducing me to their new college friends, right? And they're like, oh, well, like they're more adult, they curse a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's fine, I don't care. Um, and they're like, oh, well, just to warn you, like one of them like does dancing and stuff. I'm like, oh, that sounds neat. And they're like, no, they thought I didn't understand. They're like, not like fun, like professional sexy dancing. They were trying to like figure out how to describe to me, who was like fucking engaged at that time, like living with my partner, like how to describe stuff. And I'm like, you guys do know I know like what prostitution is, what sex work is, what pole dancing is, what all the different stuff is, right? Like, I'm fine with it. And they were like, oh, you do know? And I'm like, yeah, baby, I know. And like, and you're gonna be cool with it? And I'm like, I am friends, and I've made out with several people who are sex workers. I am fine. And they're like, oh, okay. So it was so funny hearing even like my high school friends not quite sure if I was like chill with certain stuff, and I'm like, honey, I'm fine, I promise you. They're like, oh, okay. Nothing, Zoe, don't worry about it. Oh my goodness, listen. They're an escort. How'd you? I'm not dumb. Yeah, as a grown adult who was as a bisexual person who was engaged to a guy who very much liked women. Yeah, sometimes I made out with other women. They didn't mind. Oh my god, that actually. But yeah, the model's not too far off. Okay, I'm a very for high school and college, very well endowed lady, and a lot of other ladies and a lot of other guys like that. I'm not it's not hard to find other people to make out with. Last year I had a job in junior ROTC called S4. But one time I told that to a friend and he misheard me and thought I said escort. They seemed pretty concerned for a moment there. Oh my god, that's such a funny mishap. They were giving you the churchy explanation, right? And I'm over here like, why are you guys doing this? You guys know I'm chill. Yeah, I'm a little gremlin, but it was so funny. But yeah, again, I think sometimes when you act nice, when you act sweet, when you act like polite, when you do all the different things, I think sometimes people see that sometimes as childish, and sometimes even worse, they sometimes see it as dumb. Thought you were gonna say they found out you had become the sup motherfucker with a drink in your hands. No. I never really drank. I just don't like it. I don't mind. It's okay, I allowed it. I asked for directions. It was. Oh my god. So I actually first said the word hooker when I was very, very, very little. It should not have learned that word. That's a funny story for later. I'm gonna read a few paragraphs and then someone remind me in a bit to tell you guys the baby cryptid saying hookah story. And Skiza. There we go. That was the other one. But soda, I'm your guy. I have soda right here. I have soda and water. I feel ya. So the bottle of Vindipe bottomed itself out in the waiting mouth of Fernando Pulbra? He sat in the church pew, his boots crossed atop the seat ahead of him. Next to him sat the wine bottle's friends. There were assorted varieties formerly including the vinegar-infused piquette. Kicked like a horse, that one. The delicately sour claret, and a gallant petit rouge. A parishioner ran past him and bumped his musket over on the hardwood floor. He sputtered his drink somewhat. Fernando had to make it look like he wasn't drinking himself unconscious, though the townsfolk stopped even casting judgmental stares his way days ago. Fernando groaned a bit. Oh my god, there's a little fly here. There's a little gnat. Fernando groaned a bit. His knees buckled as he grasped his musket like a walking stick. This wasn't good. He drank himself sick again. He could feel it. But the helpful clink of glass drew his gaze down next to his boot. The bottle of sherry he was saving for later. He reached down and secured it in his coat pocket. He drew a breath. He would throw outside when no one was watching. This I really like. So first, before I forget, I really like the description of the wine bottle and his wine bottle's friends, and then going on to describe the other drinks. I love that. I love the personality of Fernando so far. I think his voice is doing really, really good. So I really like this. He would throw up outside when no one was watching. I wanted to say that before I forgot when I kept reading. The outraged yell from the window nearly made him jump. He kept stable though. The Cherie needed to stay safe. It was Farmer Thomas, and something outside had him red enough that the veins started bulging from his neck. The back of his head, too. Why was it so bright outside? Was the sun already coming up? You're going hard with making him the lovable loser? Oh no. Why is it all the losers and the pathetic hurt men that make me love them the most? I didn't even realize this about myself until you guys keep making me read your stories. Stop making me realize things about myself. Someone hearing the Blueba has an ex-fiancé and saying they have game? I am a woman with big boobs. Of fucking course I have game. I'll do you better. I am an alternative gothic looking woman with big boobs. There's no more game to be had. I was fighting people off for more years of my life. Not. The Blueba likes their man being pathetic. Apparently. Who fucking knew? My friend introduced us to one of his military friends, and originally he thought I was the innocent, never got in trouble person, and after 2 days he quickly learned about me being a smart-ass degenerate. Right? I think that's the bit. Like, sometimes I'm so nice to new people that when I tell them, like, oh, I'm actually really sarcastic, sometimes I'm a bit rude, sometimes I'm a bit mean, I hold a grudge like a motherfucker. Oh my god, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, forgive and forget. I do not forgive, but I have forgotten. There are people to this day I hate, and people are like, isn't hate a strong word? And I'm like, yeah, and I fucking hate them. I hate some people, and I cannot tell you what they fucking did to me. I forgot. I goddamn forgot what they did. I don't remember. I remember fucking Riley in elementary school. That one I do remember. She was a goddamn bitch. I remember Riley. She's goddamn it. If I ever see her, I'm punching her in the face. I'm older now. I'm not in elementary school anymore. I can throw a brick at her if I want to. Oh my god. I hold grudges. And then people meet me and they're like, no, you're so sweet. You're so nice. And I'm like, yeah, you haven't done anything rude to me to make me be a bitch to you yet. Oh. Generational beef forgotten to history. I absolutely... My ghost will remember my grudges. I will if there's reincarnation, I will reincarnate with a list of all the other reincarnated people I will be born with hating. My memory may have forgotten, but hatred is forever remembered. Yeah, see, remembering all the little details of something, I don't need to do that. I don't need to know all the itty-bitty little grievances. I just need to know that I have a grudge with you. I don't need to remember what started it. I just need to know, like, oh yeah, you fucking... We're done. No. I don't need to waste my brain space with anything else. Okay, I won't shoot you, but you're on the preliminary list. Who's that guy? Oh, him? Fuck him. Oh, what'd he do? I don't know. I don't remember. He did something. It's so funny. Hi, Callie. Welcome on in. Cryptid is a saint. No, and that's why I think sometimes I clarify that. Sometimes like, hey, I do curse. This is an adult stream. I do hold grudges. I like tell you guys my faults because I don't want you guys seeing snippets of me here where I am nice, where we are having fun, where we are being helpful and nice to each other, because that's the purpose of this. And then instantly thinking, oh, like with that parasocial, like little just snippet of a personality through a blue lens. That this is all Cryptid is. She's perfect. She's wonderful. She's always nice. She would never do that. If you hear a story of a Florida woman losing her shit and throwing an alligator at someone's face, because that person was mean to her in elementary school, it might absolutely be me. Full disclosure. Saint Cryptid of the Great Swears and Grudges. That I can get behind. He poisoned the water hole and delivered a plague unto our houses. Well, let's go, Florida people. Let's go. Absolutely. Do not. Anyone that you don't know in real life, and even people you do know in real life, right? We're flawed people. We're multifaceted in our personalities, and I always be upfront and honest about the fact I'm a goddamn bitch sometimes. I'm a petty bitch. Everyone's always surprised when they just see this. They're like, oh, like the Hogwarts personality test thing. They're like, you must be a Hufflepuff, and I'm like, no, I'm a Slytherin. And they're like, no, you're not. That can't be right. And I'm like, please understand. To the deepest parts of my soul, to the deepest parts of who I am as a person, and in ways that you will never get to see in the light of day. Yes, the fuck I am. I had a report of a girl from Florida stabbing her boyfriend to death with a squirrel. You're from Florida. I'd be shocked if you were more sane than me. Yeah, Florida's fucking, we're wild here. I'm blunt because I'm born from Massachusetts. And there's that stereotype of like the masshole, like, oh, you're an asshole because you're from Massachusetts. Very blunt, very to the point, very direct, very even lovingly like insulting you to your face type of thing. And then there's the craziness of Florida, and I'm the horrible mix of both. You were stuck between a Slytherin and a Ravenclaw. Slytherin is the snake one. Yes, the snake. The snake. I wanted to do like a little thing, but the model can't capture it, where like I stick out my tongue like a snake, like, but the model can't do it. So I'm like, oh, never mind. You're between Ravenclaw and Gryffindor. Everyone, what's Ravenclaw's sign? Slytherin gets a snake. I've never fully seen a Harry Potter movie. Everyone should be able to figure out Ravenclaws, right? Oh my goodness. You're wrong. It's not a raven. And if anyone was typing in a raven, you're wrong. Who's the silly one who thinks Ravenclaw's symbol is a raven? You're wrong. I don't see anyone typing it yet, but I know you were thinking it. I know it. Does anyone know what Ravenclaw's symbol really is? It's not a raven. This is the fun trivia night. Anyway. Upon finding a spot in front of the window, Fernando was briefly stunned. The red and orange of dawn seemed to be flaring on the horizon. But as his eyes adjusted, he saw that the barn on the hill was ablaze. Panic from the crowd briefly spread to him, but he somehow had a feeling the beasts weren't behind this. At the very least, he didn't see any creatures that picked up mankind's use of fire. Was this human work? His mouth twitched. Fernando felt himself smile for the first time in a while. It's an eagle! It's a pirate ant. It's a raven's claw or a crow. Nope, sorry, Beepers. Sorry, it's an eagle. Ravenclaw's symbol was an eagle. I remember when we were all kids and there would be like trivia and stuff, and there would be like Harry Potter themed trivia. That was always one of the things that messed people up. I have such fond memories. I think I was in a fucking Girl Scout camp and they realized that like everyone in Girl Scouts liked Harry Potter at that time. So they did like a little Harry Potter trivia night for the Girl Scouts. And I remember that stumping everyone. Everyone was furious. They're like, what else could it be? You have a bunch of like little elementary school girls, furious, fuming, racking their brains. What else could it be? What is it? Going up to adults with their full chest and going, no, it has to be. You're wrong. You're lying to us. And then they revealed at the end, like, no, it's an eagle. It's not a raven. And they were like, no. Ways to enrage a bunch of smarty pants elementary Girl Scouts. Yes, to anyone curious, yes, Cryptid was part of Girl Scouts. I was in Girl Scouts for several years. I was a little Girl Scout. One thing I know is they play giant chess, stick a wand in an ogre nose. Batman gets blown up, and you're a wizard, Harry. So you know the important bits from the first one, okay. You're a mix of Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff? That's so funny. But yeah, I look back at when you are the little angry elementary school kid, right? Everything's enraging. When you're a little girl, you have rage. You know rage. But now as an adult looking back, I'm like, oh, it's so cute. Which is probably how those camp counselors were looking at a bunch of like 2 feet tall angry Girl Scouts, like, hee hee hee, they're so angry, it's so cute. I'm looking back on my past selves like, hee hee hee, that's so cute, I was so funny and adorable with my rage. But it's so funny. That makes me so mad, now I'm gonna read it. People always think you're a Hufflepuff? Yeah, see, that's one of the things. I would have even guessed, like, oh, maybe a Hufflepuff for Callie, so that's so funny. I think people always assume things based on like, the limited amount of persona we get, right? Chat, should I include Roots in the final installment of the Civil War? I don't think I've ever seen Roots make a real appearance in Raccoon 6 News yet. Ooh, that would be cool. That would be fun. Commander Roots. Now you want the Girl Scout cookie Pop-Tarts? Oh yeah, that's a new collab with Pop-Tarts. Yeah. Price broke. Listen, oh my god. When you find out the goddamn ratio, how little money the Girl Scouts actually get from selling those overpriced Girl Scout cookies, that is insane. It's fucking bullshit. So Fernando found himself smile for the first time in a while. Thomas was furious, though. He spoke to the magistrate, his voice booming, but still a bit incoherent to Fernando's ears. The magistrate nodded, and motioned for the town residents to begin unblocking the doors. Fernando clenched his rifle, anxious. I cannot get away with this. This was strange. Was that not the barn people heard of rumors about? Was that not the barn people made furtive rumors about? It was overrun with ghastly hell swine that spoke blasphemy. Even Fernando heard the songs in the night sky sometimes. I would reword this one slightly. Just one sentence. Threw me off a bit. There's something back to the grudges. I'm someone to forgive, but never forget. I'll remember why I didn't like that person, and I'll bury the hatchet. But nothing is stopping me to rage baiting them until they're mad enough to leave the setting we're in. And then a little spin. I like that we're exact opposites. Teamwork. Like, if anyone's ever mean to us in streaming and stuff, I'll be like, I'll never forgive them. And then someone's gonna ask, Cryptid, why do you hate that other person? I'll be like, I don't know. And I'll, like, call you up and I'll be like, Mash, why do I hate this person? And Mash will be like, oh, on this date, on this time, in this chat, so-and-so said this and that. And I'll be like, thanks, okay, bye. Hang up. Okay, yeah, this other person did beep and beep. Oh my goodness. Right. Fucking Hyden's making a cameo appearance too. That's exciting! Coyote Guard! Coyote Guard! The Commander Roots! Oh, let's see. Am I in the wrong thing? This was strange. Was that not the barn people made furtive rumors about? That was the barn everyone spoke in hushed whispers about, no? It was overrun with ghastly hell swine that spoke blasphemy. I do like that. I do like that. It seems like maybe it should be dialogue? Is this supposed to be dialogue? I thought this was just his internal thoughts. So I think it's more descriptive, but it sounds voice-wise like it should be dialogue rather than a thought. Says something streamer, I'll never forgive you! While Zanthro's working on that for a second, do you guys want... What was the stories I told you guys to remember? The Skiza and Hookah. So, you guys know Papa Cryptid's my adoptive father, right? He's the father that stepped up. He's in every sense except biological, he's my dad. I'm just really observant. One time this guy was trying to bully me and I started picking on his speech inflections. When he's starting to lose his footing and leverage over me, and I just stared into his eyes and mocked him. You mentioned Hookah and Skiza. So, Papa Cryptid was dating Mama Cryptid. I was itty bitty. I was like a little kid, like very early stages, like think maybe like first or second grade. Like I was itty bitty. Here, I'll make myself smaller to show. I was itty bitty Cryptid. I was little. So Papa Cryptid was dating Mama Cryptid, and I had chosen him because I gave him during his first meeting with me, when he was first introduced with me after he had been dating Mama Cryptid for a little while. I gave him my blanket, my baby blanket. I never gave that to anybody when I was a little kid. And that was the sign of like, yep, he's a good one. And I gave the blessing for Papa Cryptid to keep dating Mama Cryptid. So they'd been dating for a little while. I was hanging out with them. We were still in Massachusetts. And we needed to go to the store late at night to pick something up. There was a Walmart nearby. This was back when Walmart was open, like 24 hours. Ooh, the spooky old times. Cryptid's old now. Walmart was open 24/7. So it was snowy because it was Massachusetts. So Mama and Papa Cryptid had me in the middle of them. Right? I'm itty bitty, and I have a little baby Cryptid hand in each of their hands, and we're walking late at night to the Walmart. And there is a working woman, more than likely, right, a prostitute, right? Someone on the side of the street who's selling her services, and she's stumbling, very, very short dressed, despite the snow and stuff, despite being very slushy type weather, into the Walmart in front of us. Now, Papa Cryptid has a potty mouth. So Papa Cryptid, who has only been a Papa Cryptid for maybe a few months now, but he's not used to little kids. He hasn't really interacted with little kids much. He's not used to the fact that little kids can hear more than you think they can. So he leans over my head because I'm in between them. I'm stepping on the snow in my little baby Cryptid snow boots. Stomp, 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 stomp. The working woman stumbling into Walmart in front of us. He leans over my head to whisper quietly to Mama Cryptid to make a joke. He's like, oh, look at that woman in front of us. Can you say Skiza? Can you say a Hookah? Like, cause it's snowy out. She is wearing like a skimpy outfit. It's very obvious she's working. So he makes the joke like, oh, like, can you say Hooker? Can you say Skiza? I'm in between them. I'm stepping in the snow. And I'm like, I can say that. Because I'm used to elementary school, right? I'm used to saying words. Like the teacher will say, oh, can you say apple? And I'll be like, I can, apple, right? And then you can use a little sticker. So I hear Papa Cryptid say, can you say hooker? Can you say Skiza? And I go, bing! I can, Papa Cryptid, I can say that. Skiza! Hooker! Loud, so loud, just joyfully saying a new word in my little high-pitched kid voice, loud as I can be, kicking little snow piles with my little kids' little snow boots on. swinging their hands and their arms. Mama Cryptid's like, no, shh. We're already walking in the store. We are right behind that lady. I'm saying it so loudly. Skiza. Mama Cryptid's like, no, shh. No, Cryptid, shh. We don't say that. We don't say it. But I can say it. I did. I said it. Skiza. Papa Cryptid's now freaking out. He didn't know little kids listen to you. He thought little kids weren't supposed to listen to you. He didn't have an instruction manual. He's only been a Papa Cryptid for a few months. What is this? He's like, shh, no, listen to your mother. Shh, no, I shouldn't have said that. I'm so sorry. Oh, he's looking at my mom because he's still dating my mom, right? He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know she would say that. He said, I'm like, oh God. The lady in front of us is turning around. She sees it. I am butt level with this woman. I am looking at her short little dress. My little kid face at her butt, screaming, "Ski!" She thankfully does nothing to my parents. She goes left. My parents go right. Faces bright red, so embarrassed, trying desperately to get their little child to stop screaming the new fun word she learned tonight. It's horrible. It's horrible. Everyone don't have kids. They will embarrass you. That was my gremlin pro containment. Exactly. Every kid you have will be more and more of a gremlin. It's 100% fact. Later on, Papa Cryptid used this for his amusement when he realized that I was so good at listening and saying whatever words he taught me. He used this for evil. That day was an accident. He would purposefully do this in the future for evil. At like 4-H meetings, showings with the cattle. Oh my God. So for anyone who doesn't know, 4-H and like, is it FFA? Something like that? It's like more farming community stuff. Mama Cryptid, her high school, she went to a special school, but it was like an agricultural farming high school. Mama Cryptid actually worked with horses. She even got to work with, when she was a teenage Mama Cryptid. That makes it sound like she was a teenage mom. When Mama Cryptid was a teenager, she got to work on horse farms. She, I think, got to apprentice under people who were caring for, at that time, like Olympic level horse trainings. I don't know all the horse terms, but like really, really fancy race horses, like the official race horses. She got to work and apprentice under the people who took care of those horses. Very, very cool stuff she got. Anyway, so she was in a high school for agricultural stuff. Naturally, she was part of 4-H stuff. That meant even when I was an itty bitty baby cryptid, she liked going to horse shows, cow shows, like those agricultural shows where they go and they show off like the cool cows that they bred, the cool pigs that they're up to standards, all the cool stuff. They're showing all the animals that they did. You like growing up in Jackson listening to 90s and 2000s early rap? And R&B wasn't the best for 4-year-old. You were saying all these big kids fighting words. Oh my God, did it ever get you into trouble? Or was everyone just looking at you like, what is this 4-year-old saying? I just gotta know if little accidental 4-year-old Nash got into any fights over that. It's so cute. But yeah, so at this point, this is later. This is after Papa Cryptid learned to use this skill of his for evil. It was bad. That's hilarious. That's so funny. So, oh my God. So Papa Cryptid was here. This was at his first like horse, cow, pig showing event for this lady he was dating, which was Mama Cryptid, right? So he's maybe been my Papa Cryptid for like like, I don't know, he's still dating. He's not like married to my mom or anything, but he was like dating her. It's probably been like more than a few months now. It's probably like around the year mark or so, but still early time, right? So he's still like learning it. I've fully accepted him as my dad figure. I've already met his parents, which are going to be my grandparents, which are grandpa and grandma Cryptid, all the different things. So he's there. He's kind of gotten a handle on how to be a Papa Cryptid, right? And he's here and he's like, he. I'm gonna do something funny. So you're sitting in these bleachers in these big like rising seats, like at a basketball thing, right? Except it's not basketball in the center. It's horses, it's cows, it's pigs, and they're showing all the animals, and they're announcing them and stuff. And everyone's silent, and then the announcer will like announce stuff like, oh, this pig is weighing this amount, raised with these parents, with this pedigree, by such and such farm, by whatever. It's giving all the specifics over it. So everyone's silent, and then when the announcer stops describing whatever cattle animal is there, everyone claps. And then at the end they'll get prizes, stuff like gold ribbons. So it's silent. It is silent except for the announcer. And Papa Cryptid's over there like, I'm still in the middle between him and Mama Cryptid. He leans down. He knows I have the loudest, cute little girl voice. I can be heard through this entire stadium. This entire dead quiet stadium besides the announcer. And as they bring out one of the animals, and they're showing it around, it has to walk around in the thing before they take it out, and they show me it walk around. He leans over to me. He's like, hey, baby Cryptid. And I'm like, yeah? What's up? He's like, psst, psst. Can you say bacon really loudly? And I'm like, okay, bacon! They bring out another animal. It's doing its lap around the thing. He leans over. Say steak. Steak! The entire crowd can hear me. People on the other side of the arena can hear me. I'm the only one speaking. I do not understand what is happening. Another animal comes out. He leans over. He goes, hey, psst, say roast beef really loud. I'm like kicking. I can't. My feet don't even reach the bottom. I'm just kicking my feet in the bleacher seat. I'm just having a ball. I'm hanging out with Mama and Papa Cryptid. We're seeing some cool animals, and I'm saying cool little words. And Papa Cryptid says he's gonna get me pizza afterwards if I keep saying the words. Mama Cryptid's like hitting his shoulder, like, stop it, stop doing this. He's like, no, teehee, it's so funny. Another animal comes out. They're showing off this high pedigreed animal. He leans over. Say hamburger. Mama Cryptid's there like, no, don't say it. Papa Cryptid's like, I'll get you pizza. Come on, say it. Say hamburger. I'm like, okay, hamburger. We do this with all the animals. There's half the crowd who finds it hilarious. Half the crowd probably hates our guts. I'm not gonna lie. When you're working, you're raising these animals for like years in order to do the showing, to show off like how great your animal to spec and to pedigree is, and there's just this little kid in the audience calling it a fucking hamburger. Oh my god. Anyway, I got pizza though, so it's all good for me. That's their prospecting career paths. Yeah, Mama Cryptid was so mad at him. But I got pizza, so he was A-okay in my book. Excuse me. Poor Mosh, poor baby. Let's just say I said a no word. Oh no. Because the drive-thru worker was messing around with me and I went, what's up? No word. And my whole family got out of the car and apologized to the worker and brought him a meal. But to their memory, the worker said, your kid's cool and it's fine. He's just innocent and doesn't know any better. Oh, thank God the worker was cool with it. Thank God he looked at like 4-year-old little Mash and was like, okay, yeah, this little 4-year-old doesn't get it. That could have gone so bad so quickly, though. That's fucking hilarious. I'm glad your parents like apologized and they were being responsible. They were trying to explain. That way they didn't think like you were retarded or anything, like in a negative way. But oh my god, that could have gone bad so fast. At 5 pages. The resolution will probably be 3 pages or so. How many funny voices are there? That's the important bit. How many? Especially in that area of Florida. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Thankfully, I was being a loud little shit baby cryptid in Massachusetts. And in Massachusetts, it's kind of like, you can talk shit. Obviously not in the sense of like any hard slurs or anything, not like that or anything, but like you can talk shit, like you can say fuck off, fuck you, the fuck you doing. People will curse at you as they help you, genuinely. That's one of the big things. Some of the nicest, most helpful, safe people you meet will be calling you a fucking stupid idiot to your face. That's just the way it is. That's just what happens. Here in the South, not so much. If you're saying fighting words, you better be ready to fight. If you saying some fighting words, you better be ready to square up. Very, very different. Oh, there's a lot of dialogue. How many funny voices is there? Oh no, if you do Roots, I'm gonna have to figure out a voice for Roots. You miss the East Coast attitude compared to the plastic West Coast? I definitely, when I visited like California, there were certain things I love about it. There are some great things about the West Coast. No hate, no shade, right? I'm just flat out, yeah, there were some fantastic things about the West Coast. But absolutely, yeah, I love the East Coast. Sometimes I think with, some of the nice areas as far as like polite society, as far as like really nice forward thinking, more liberal areas, I think sometimes the West Coast is over. This is generalizations, obviously. It's not going to apply to everyone. I sometimes think one of the big things there is that some people on the West Coast are more concerned with doing good things the right way rather than doing good. And people on the East Coast just care about being a good person, even if they're doing about it like whatever fucking way they want. Like I said, someone will help you in Massachusetts if your car breaks down on the side of the road. They're gonna call you fucking stupid the whole time. Like, the fuck you think you were doing? Why are you driving at this time of night? What's wrong with you? Why did you do this? What the fuck is wrong with you? And they are helping you. They are replacing your tires. They are making sure you get home safe. That is the safest situation for you to be in. They are helping you. They're gonna call you some bad words while they do it. It's another military guy. Generalization. Versus in the West Coast, so progressive, so nice, so many important things being there, especially for LGBTQ plus IAs plus stuff, for all the different things. But I sometimes got the vibe it was less about doing good rather than doing something the right way. Like, they would rather say something in the politically correct way without actually helping anybody over there. Like, oh no, I'm gonna tag someone on Instagram here with this correction. This is the more polite way they should ask for help. This is the correct terminology to use to ask for help. Okay, thanks, bye. And then they'll like leave it. That's it. That's a lot of the people over there. It's kind of like that's that plastic fake niceness. It's very, very general. They want to be correct rather than be actually helpful. East Coast, they are going to say a lot of bad words and they're going to help you. You're going to be safe. Here in the Southeast, South Florida, I always say the big difference, the big culture shock, was a lot of people are nice. So genuinely nice. So many generations of genuinely nice. And they hate you. Absolutely hate you. They are not safe people for you to be around. They are so sweet. They are so demure. They're so polite. They are so posh. They are so gentle. They're little old grandmas. They're little old church biddies. They're so sweet. They love you. They'll make cupcakes for you. And they'll hate you because you're black. Absolutely. And when you point it out, they'll be like, oh no, but you're not one of those ones. You're one of the good ones. And you'll be like, you're kind of calling them out on the racism. And then they'll be like, oh no, I don't know why you're talking about all this. This isn't polite to bring up. So it's very, very different culturally. That's why I'm like, there's some very, very nice people here in the Southeast. They're not necessarily good people. They're very polite. They're they're not necessarily safe or nice or kind. Like, I get it, but you end up beating around the bush rather than being forward but promptly. Yeah, so being Massachusetts people who moved down here to Florida, people thought we were so rude for so long. We were very direct. We had strong, we grew up outside of Boston, strong Boston, thick Boston accents. Very direct, very straightforward. People thought we were so rude. And then when we finally, like, we lost the accent a bit, right? A lot of people can't really tell I'm from Massachusetts anymore. Neither can they with Mama or Papa Cryptid. We've acclimatized over the years. People, we're believably from Central Florida. And, but you'll still meet people that you are polite with. You think you're getting friendly with. That's so nice. That's so sweet. That's so sincere. They are so proper and well-mannered. And they are the most hateful people. It's very culturally different. Yeah, polite people never means they're kind. It's very much something you're aware of down here. You never quite know who's actually safe. Oh, bless your heart. Oh. Why don't you drive down to Mayaca and get some oranges for Grandma, kind of Florida? We're losing all our oranges here. Can you believe it? There's in a couple generations, Florida. Not a couple generations, couple years. We're gonna lose all our oranges. Can you believe it? Florida's not gonna be known for its oranges anymore. It's crazy. A lot of our orange juice and orange products aren't actually from Florida anymore. We have to import it from like Georgia and some surrounding areas. We're losing all our orange groves. Yeah, kind of nice. Up northeast, very, very kind, not very polite sometimes. And at west coast, very progressively polite. It's not even progressively kind, but sometimes more focused and intent on the progressively polite versus the progressively kind. Grew up in the Bradenton, Sarasota area. I remember smelling like burnt oranges as a kid, but then Tropicana left Florida, and I think Florida isn't known for oranges as much anymore. We're still known for it for people who don't know, people outside of Florida but nearby. Florida's main like fruit tree, like its official thing, is oranges. We were the main exporter of oranges. Florida's covered, or it was, in orange groves. We grow so many. There are people's entire like backyards. They would always have an orange tree, right? There's some neighborhoods like that. So many over the last few years. There was I forget what it's called. There's a disease. There's this like fungal spore disease thing, and it decimates, completely destroys from the root down. Like the ground itself is like contaminated with it. You can't just get rid of those trees and like replant. Like the ground is contaminated. Yeah, the orange canker or something. Yeah, it's something horrible. Like, so the way to fix it is they just have to they burn down the orange grove once it gets infected. Burn it all down, because it's useless. You can't grow any of it. And you can't grow any more oranges there, so then they just have to sell the land. Florida's such a huge tourism area that they're developing any land they can get their hands on. So then they just build apartments there. That's one of the big things. We've lost a huge percentage of our orange groves here in Florida. I was like, prawns. Maybe. I like I said, I don't remember what the disease is called. But we've lost it all. So there's even areas that we've driven through where one year, like, someone moved there because the neighborhood's right next to an orange grove, and it looks so nice and sweet. It looks idyllic. And then, like, the year after they moved there, the orange grove was burned down. It had to be. Some of the trees were contaminated. And then they sold it, and now it's a new neighborhood there. Just identical to the first one. So we lost a lot of them. So a lot of the oranges we have now in Florida, if they're from Florida, they're actually more expensive than some of the ones out of state. Out of state, they're not fighting with the disease as much, so they can import it for really cheap. And still, some of the local farmers that are hanging on to their orange groves that have miraculously not gotten hit by the citrus canker yet. They're really, really expensive because, like I said, they're losing so much of the land. It's really, really risky now to grow oranges here. So we're losing a lot of it. It's really sad. Let's see. But yeah, so very, very different. I always say I got kind of the worst things here. I hold a grudge, and I'm and I'm a little crazy. Like Floridians, when they're psycho, they're kind of psycho. The Florida man trope is real. When they're psycho, they're psycho. So I kind of got that bit from growing up in Florida, but I have the kind of direct bluntness that comes from being born more in Massachusetts. So that I always say I kind of got the worst of both things. So like I say, I love the times I visited California. I've loved the times I visited the West Coast. But man, if I had to choose, I love the East Coast. I would really love more Northeast Coast. I'd love to go back one day to Massachusetts and similar and explore there more. But I love the parts of natural Florida here that remain. Oh my god, the love bugs. Stop. Screened porches needed, but god. Whoever you'd like to find a gator in your pool, yep. Some of our neighbors here, when we first moved, the first year we moved down here, one of our neighbors, they had a pool. They got a gator in their pool. Orlando in the summer / early winter. Tourists are so bad. The sun pass and all the fucking toll roads. Now, I think a lot of people have gotten used to sun pass. It's like fucking impossible now to go on some of these roads without the sun pass. It's fucking horrible. If you haven't been in Florida recently, then oh my god, some of the crazy changes they've made to the roads and highways, especially in the Orlando area, I described it to Mama Cryptid as there was like some intern who like wanted to make like the amusement parks, because Florida's known for like Universal, Disney, all the different tour like amusement park rides, right? Some intern wanted to make one of the roller coaster rides. They wanted to be a roller coaster ride like maker, and they didn't get the job because they kept not listening to safety regulations, so that the intern didn't get in. But then somebody was like, hey, we need someone to design a road, we need someone to design this highway in the Orlando area, can you do it? Do you know somebody? And the little intern was like, oh, well, how hard can it be? I mean, I was designing stuff for roller coasters. How hard can it be? And they designed some of the highways here because they are insane with some of the turns and the curves and the curly cues and the circular things and the off ramps. They give me anxiety even when I'm not the driver, when I'm just like the passenger in them. Some of those highways now that they have in the Orlando area are insane. I don't even like looking at them. There were a lot of accidents after they actually put in this one particular one. And they kept putting more and more safety. There was this one they put up where it goes in this really tight spiral. And after the spiral towards the end, there's a lake. There's a little mini pond here. And it's going in the air and it goes down. It's in this tight spiral. And when people don't reduce the speed fast enough, they go up and over, and they were flying through the air and landing in the lake. And it was happening so often you would see the tire marks up on the side. And I'm saying this often as in like it was happening like weekly. It was happening multiple times a week. People were going up and they couldn't slow down fast enough over this tight curly Q spiral on the highway. And their cars would go up over the edge and phew! So you'd see these tire marks from the cars going over. So they kept sending this fucking painter out because you would notice the growing pile of tire marks of the cars going over the edge. So they sent out these painters and you would notice it because you're like, oh, all the tire marks are gone. They must have just painted this again, so you can't see all the cars that went over the edge of this highway that is in the air. You were in the air. This isn't like, oh, it's in a highway like you're on the ground, you just went off into the ground. I'm saying like the car would have been in the air and then hit the lake. Like you went flying for a little bit before you crashed and swam. So they would be sending out these paint jobs weekly to cover it up, to make it look safer, and it wasn't working because they had to keep sending out the painter every week to cover up all the tire marks from the new cars that week that flew over the thing. So then they added like some extra safety rails. They were adding in like the slow down signs. They added in all these slow down caution signs. They kept adding new things like every month to try desperately to lower the amount of cars that were going over, just go over the thing and into the lake. I think now it's not as bad, but you'll still see some of the tire marks there on the side. But it was really bad. Miss Florida rain, it's nice. Sunny, then 5 minutes buckets and thunders, then 5 minutes sunny and horribly humid. Oh my god, it gets so one of the things is it's very sunny in the morning in Florida, and sometimes a lot of those rains come in the afternoon, evening. And it's really hard. I like hand washing a lot of my own clothes and garments and leaving them out to dry in the sun if I can. And it's always like, oh, it's so nice now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go get my clothes. Like, they should be dried now. They've been out in the sun for an hour or two. And then you go on, and as soon as you open the door, it goes boof. and then it's like buckets of rain, and you're like, no, my clothes that just dried. And that happens every day now. Happens every day. Listen, kiss me before going to St. Cloud. You get it, you know the fucking horrors of being here. Now tourist season is all year, but it'd be what it be. Cause the cruise industry is getting so popular after COVID. The cruise industry every year it's struggling to keep up. And so many cruise lines like docking here in Florida at all the different ports throughout Florida. Oh, I'm sorry, Zathura. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we'll end there. I think we got a good few pages and we finished the scene. We started it with your new character. We corrected a few sentences. But yeah, we can leave it there. I'm so sorry. Don't look at me. Have a good night, Zathura. Thank you so much. Just hit me with the brick next time. I promise I'll focus better. I swear. I'm... Oof. Well, can you guys tell I haven't been taking my brain juice? Is it obvious? It's probably very obvious. Oopsie. I'll go down here. This is a new part of the story that you guys haven't seen. There you go. Have a good night, Zathura. But what was I saying? There was the pirate story from the queue. I can resubmit it when the submissions reopen. No, I think we'll leave it up. It's fine. And I'll focus and you hit me with the brick and I'll actually focus for that one for another time. That will be fine. That'll be all good. What was I gonna say? But otherwise, I think I've just been yapping. I'm not sure. Let me pull up the queue. Let me edit it. So we did 1, we did 2, we did Raccoon Channel 6 News. Let me see here. So, including Zathura's other submission, and Hide and Heart, and some other people who aren't in all the time, we have 12 submissions. Badunts. Your life stories were cute. Have a good one, Varmints. Good night, Zathura. Yeah, those I have. Younger me was very cute. Older me not so much. But younger me was very, very cute. And I was very lucky to have Mama and Papa Cryptid be the ones in charge of little kid me. I was so silly. I was going off on adventures. I was learning about the world. Love how recently I've been obsessing over Owl House. I never got into Owl House, but I know a lot of people like it. I know there's a lot of like comments about the new Disney movie they're gonna release called Hex or Hexed, because they're saying it's like a copy of Owl House after Disney canceled Owl House. They're like basically remaking it, but like the teeny version. I've heard a lot of those comments, but again, I haven't watched Owl House, so I don't know how accurate or fair that is. But I have heard there's a lot of discussions with Owl House and Hexed now that Hexed has been released. I'm still... Maybe this shows how much of a fucking Disney nerd I am. Does anyone else remember when the title of Hexed, when the concept of Hexed was dropped? And it was only like 6 or so months, like just a half a year before they've released this trailer. Was it just me? It was supposed to be about like a teen boy, like a teen or a preteen boy, and his overly like involved mom, and they were gonna go into this magical world, and or he had magical powers or something that she was trying to hide. Like that was the concept. That was the concept art they released. It was supposed to be like a teen boy, right? And everyone was super excited for a story about like a Disney movie for a young male lead and his mom. Just gives me Owl House vibes. And then now, like a couple months later, now that we're seeing the previews, now that we're getting all the hints of Hexed, suddenly it's just go girl, go girl, go. Now it's like a girl. It's like this different art style, all this different stuff, and I'm like, wait a second. And that's not bad. Sometimes things have major changes like that. Normal changes like that are very normal edits for story development. I'm not saying like you're not allowed to do that. Stuff like that is fine all the time. It's just weird it was so fast. It felt like it was so close together. Like, normally a script and the storyline and the animation is far enough along by the time they just transition Cryptid Chicken. Okay, how wild would it be if this was the first Disney movie that featured a trans character, though? That would be fucking insane. I don't think Disney has the guts yet. I don't think they're fucking brave enough, but that would be insane. That's right. Okay, so I was right. They did cancel Owl House. Okay. Ooh, Mouse. That's right. That would be insane if this was the first trans character for Disney. That would be insanity. But I was just like, whoa, normally, when Disney announces the title, announces the character, they're showing, like, the different bits, normally, like, the script is solidified, they've at least done the storyboards, right? Everything's pretty set in stone. It's just the actual, like, oh yeah, the final animation, it's just the time it takes to now make it the official movie, because animation and drawing, it takes a while, it takes time. But everything else is pretty set in stone, and then you just wait the time, and then it's fucking released for you. I'll fucking do it again, yuck. Don't give me voice. Oh my goodness. That would be insanity. So I was just so I'm not like completely batshit, right? I think it was just like 6 months or so. That's what it feels like, but also like 2020 feels like last year. So my sense of time is also wonky. Who knows? Who knows anything? I don't know nothing. So let's see, we have Eli Nova, Superstar, Maximum Sharpie. I think we saw Maximum earlier, right? Cryptid 2016 feels like last year. To me, it feels like just a few years ago. It just feels like a few years ago, because 2016, I think I was still in... Oh wait, what? I wasn't in high school then, was I? When was I in high school versus when was I in college? If I left and finished college at the start of 2020, I was in college for a few years. So that would have been, yeah, late high school, early college age for Cryptid. So to me, that's like a couple of years ago. It's like a few. I would be like, that's 4 years ago. That's like 4 years ago. Yeah, it's just been a few years. And then you tell me like, oh no, like Cryptid, it's like 10 years. And I'd be like, what? Is Roots a raccoon? A coyote since she runs the coyote guard? A giant Wendigo thingy like Cryptid? Roots is just a raccoon. Just a raccoon. They are Commander Roots. They are just, they were the first raccoon to ever gain sentience and knowledge and human understanding. And all the other raccoons followed after them, and that's why they are Commander Roots, because all the other raccoons kind of follow and like look up to Roots. Roots has no idea what to do with that. Roots is just minding their own business, eating trash, sometimes having to do whatever random bullshit Cryptid gives them. Like, Roots, tell me how to connect to Twitch. What is Twitch? And Roots is like, I don't know. Let me here. And then it works. And I'm like, yay, go Commander Roots. And they're like, I don't know how I did that. So yeah, Roots is just trying their best, though, to mind their own business, and everyone is just a growing fan of Commander Roots. But yeah, they're just normal raccoon. They're a very, if you're looking for like a description of the physique, they're actually a very pale raccoon. They're much more white, because Roots' design is going to be based off the in real life cat Roots has, that's called Cinna. She's a very, very pale Siamese but just mix, very chubby, little, very beautiful, but pale, very, very lot of white and pale colors cat. And I was like, oh, it would be really cute if when we make a Roots' official model, if it was based off Cinna, or we also call it Schmeagle. We call Cinna Schmeagle sometimes too. Because a lot of her paws and her mannerisms are like a very aggressive raccoon. And some of her markings and stuff look like little raccoon stripes and stuff. So we always said like, oh yeah, like you'll be like the Cinnabina. Roots can look like Cinnabina. So that's kind of the bit. That's right. Heidenheart's the head of the Coyote Guard, which I always said it's like the actual functioning mods. Roots is technically the first mod, but they're not here too often, right? They're just here for me to cry to when I need tech support. They're a mod spiritually. They haven't gone to church in a while. But they're just rich. They're just the other half of the business. But yeah, as far as actual functioning mods, abilities, people like you, if you need something, you actually need someone to respond, that's Heidenheart. Heidenheart's the actual Coyote Guard. Their persona is a coyote. The Coyote Guard was named for Heidenheart because they were like the official mods. I'm like, oh, what do you want the mods to be? They're gonna be the Coyote Guard because Heidenheart's a coyote. So that's actually really funny. I think it's so interesting when someone's like early to a community, how much impact that can have on the community. The fact that the mod team is called the Coyote Guard is entirely because of Heidenheart. Heidenheart decided that was entirely done for Heidenheart. The fact that we have Raccoon Channel 6 News at all is because of Zoe. Zoe started that. Just based off like some little things and some little things they asked me, and they just ran with it. Different little things can kind of really set the groundwork. I think more people who are involved with the community. I always like encouraging it because I think it's so fun. Yep, woo. So it's always so interesting to see. And that's what makes the community really fun. When you, like when I'm in stuff, when I'm in fandom spaces, I always like being part of them. When you do have that impact, when you are encouraged to participate in whatever manner you want to, that's part of what a fandom space is. It's just encouraging and welcome fans to have fun and relax and do fandom-y silliness. And that has the impact on it. I never knew I'd become a news anchor in a fictional world. Stranger Light takes us. What do you think? So is this inspiring you at all? Does it make you think, like, when you're looking at plans and stuff, or what do you want to be when you're more of an adult? What do you want to be when you grow up? Are you over there like, I'm actually pretty inspired to potentially be maybe a host, maybe be on a news station or on a radio station. I want to tell stories. I want to give the news. I want to give updates. I want to be the person. I want to be the brand. I want to be the face people see when they tune in. And I never knew I'd become Raccoon Karl Marx. But I think it's been so fun for you, because you've seen some different versions of your writing. You've seen the very... Hold on, I need a drinky. Oh, that hurts. Okay, I didn't mean in time. Anyway. Like, we've seen so much different aspects of your writing and your creative writing journey, right? With some of the different stories in the fan fiction and the original stories, and then also with the Raccoon Channel 6 News. We've seen some different facets of your writing. And I think when you do write the more, even in chat and stuff, when you write like the cool villain monologues and all the different stuff, I'm like, oh, when you kind of lean into the more serious, to the more nitty-gritty, to the more evil, to the more serious revolutionary stuff, and you kind of go into those characters, I think you really tap into some characters there, and they come across really, really strong. A lot of people like them. At least I'm not a spy in this universe. Yeah, that one streamer calling you a spy, that's so funny. Hi, welcome on in. Hello, it's so good to see you. Is that the cow booty one? Is that what you're always gonna say now whenever you come in? Big old booty boy. It's been really fun being Arya the Scavenger in this fantasy world. Don't say it like that! Don't say it like Arya's gone. Don't say it like you're really dead. We need someone to clip root French accent? Did I say a French accent? When did I say that? Let me see. And if you're asking me to do a French accent for Roots, absolutely not. Je ne sais quoi? Nope, not doing it. Trying to have cuter animals shaking that thing rather than me twerking. Oh, the cryptid French special on previous French accent on the previous special. Okay, okay, so I did try it then. Oh well. That's silly. For Roots dialogue, get Roots themselves to voice it. I'll have to see. I'll have to see what they're available. Because like right now on some nights they're raiding. They play Final Fantasy 14. They have a guild or a static. I forget what the term is in Final Fantasy 14. So they do a lot of raiding. They do a lot of endgame. They're always up to the newest stuff. They're doing the latest dungeons and the new achievements and things. So they do pretty serious raiding with their group. So that's why normally when I'm streaming, they're also raiding. So that's why sometimes you don't always hear Roots. Your youngest has been listening to your language lessons for learning Russian, and they said "Привет," and my heart melted. That's so cute. And also it's such a fun thing too, because now as a mama too, you can be so happy that you're like teaching them like another language or introducing them to other language learning skills. That's so cute. Привет. I forgot to do that today. I was just focused on feeling better and getting caught up with streaming things. I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to do little language learning-y things. You see what I mean? My cycle just knocks me out. I can't do all these things, all these ambitious goals and stuff I want to do. So now when I'm not suffering from my endometriosis, that's when I want to go full force. I want to accomplish all these different things I want to do. So I'm gonna learn some cool new words. Don't teach them about the faked moon landing. Just teach. I think it's not so like don't teach them like real conspiracy theories. Teach them just like out there wild crazy things just to see how teachers and their peers will react to them. Oh my god, like someone's like, oh, I'm not gonna teach them like something silly like the moon landing was faked or anything. I'm gonna tell my kids that the moon's a hologram. And I'm gonna leash them onto their elementary school, and I'm gonna see what happens. It's kind of something like when you're a little kid and you like see silly things in cartoons and stuff. Like some little kids, when you're really little, think the moon's made of cheese because they saw it in like a cartoon or something. And then you grow up, and then like your reality's checked, and you're like, oh, the moon's not made of cheese. And then like you learn, right? It's kind of that thing. They just want to teach their kids like silly little things and see how long it takes them before they realize it's not true. That's not real. Like something with like the tooth fairy, right? Like or like something like the Easter bunny. Like how long can you keep something going before they realize? There's no faked moon landing in this household. That's right. They watched the Artemis launch with you. You got cool badges and stuff from it too. I remember. Shadow government. An Eggman told me. I'm gonna teach my kid chemistry so they can melt everything. The last thing I heard was the German mustache man owned the Titanic. Oh. You got one of my previous, not a boss, because again we worked for ourselves. This was still Cryptid Roots. I was a subcontractor. This was for when I say I got a lot of really cool things, like with the Grammy red carpet stuff, with the Legoland contract, a lot of stuff. I was a subcontractor under another seamstress. So we were hired for like embroidery work and some sewing stuff. But this head seamstress was the one that they really hired. And again, I was a subcontractor underneath her. Or Cryptid Roots was, the company was. For anyone new here, hi, yes, Cryptid Roots is an embroidery business. We do patches and apparel and all sorts of cool stuff. You can look up Cryptid Roots on Etsy. That's where we are. Our stuff's been on the Grammy red carpet twice. We had a contract with Legoland. We've been in some stores over the US. We do some cool, funny things. Check us out. Anyway, for that, again, Mr. Legoland did not hire me specifically, or Cryptid Roots specifically. Those Grammy red carpet people didn't hire me specifically. They hired this other, more famous seamstress. I was a subcontractor under her to do embroidery work. That's kind of how it works. That's if you ever wonder how do you get those big gigs, it's kind of like that. You're normally working as an underling to somebody else who got hired. That's how you get the big gigs. Anyway, there are some wild stories with that person who I was subcontracted under. Oh my god. I know there's like a lot of the jokes with like conspiracy theorists and stuff. And I always thought those were jokes, and like she was one of them to a level I didn't know was real. and I thought it had to be joking and it had to be like silly or fake or persona thing, and it wasn't. And sometimes it actually got like really uncomfortable and scary. It was like a lot. And she would play these podcasts while I was over at her workshop area, doing some sewing stuff there for some commissions. It was wild. It was so wild. Listening to the stuff she was listening to, and she was nodding along and taking it seriously and believing it, and I was like, oh my god, what is wrong with your brain? But you can't say anything because she's paying me hundreds to thousands of dollars to do this particular, whatever the contract was at the time. So I'm like, okay, crazy lady, okay, anyway, here's the sewing thing, I'm done for the day, bye. Give me the money when you can. Let's see. I'm going to teach my future daughter that dancers are summoners of powerful spirits. Oh, like Final Fantasy II, name her Yuna too. My mom had a friend that called into Art Bell and George Normie. Oh, you got a big surprise in the resolution. Arya, that's cool. 2 old radio talk show hosts that dealt in conspiracy and ghost stories. Oh no. One of them, I remember I was there, so the person I was subcontracted under, was on this couch, she was on her computer, she was dealing with contracts, she was fielding calls, she was messaging, she was sourcing things, she was doing all the stuff from being like this famous seamstress person, right? Doing all the contracty stuff. I was in the room right next to it, but it was like, it didn't have a door or anything, it was just another space right next to that room, but they were technically separate rooms. Anyway, it was right next to her, I could see and hear everything. I was on a sewing machine, I was doing a project. I think for the Grammy red carpet for one of the assignments for that. I was doing that. Suddenly police and doctors will hate you for naming your son John Doe. So she was listening to the podcast. And she was like, oh yeah, are you okay with me listening to podcasts? I'm like, I don't care, yeah, I'll listen to anything. And I was just sewing. And the podcast came on. And it was talking about, and the reason why I remember this one in particular is because Chatty Maddie was like mentioning eggs or something. I forget, or cheese, I forget what it was. An Eggman told me, yeah, so it was the eggs. This was during, like, the stuff with the eggs shortages. So the 2 male hosts of this one podcast that she was nodding along to and taking seriously was saying that the egg shortage was predicted to be happening in that year because it was foreshadowed by several things that eggs were a sign of fertility from this one particular goddess, and that Lady Gaga had jumped out of an egg in that one music video from such and such year. And if you took the year that Lady Gaga made that music video where she jumped out of the egg and did this other thing and did this other symbol from this goddess of fertility, because fertility was linked with the eggs, and then something else, it could all have been predicted for there to be an egg shortage now, and it was all linked to, oh my god, like what was some of the crazy shit that was happening? It was like linked to celebrities in the shadow government, and all celebrities were not the gender they were born in. They're all like taken by the shadow government and switched gender and switches their heights and switched all the stuff, so they're all a clone, a reversed clone of who they were when you become famous. It was insane, and that this reverse clone masquerading as Lady Gaga, because the real Lady Gaga was dead and killed by the shadow government. This was the signal to the other people in the shadow government when she did her music video where she came out of the egg, for that they were gonna do and plan all the stuff in the background to do the egg shortage for the masses in this year that we had the egg shortage. Like, it was crazy, and she was not alone. She was serious about it, and I was like, this podcast is full of loony bins. What are you doing? And she's nodding along. She's like, no, it makes absolute sense. You don't understand. And she was like parroting some of the stuff back so seriously. And I couldn't say anything because she still owed me like a couple thousands of dollars for this project. So I was like, oh, that's neat. That's so cool. I didn't know that. Okay. Anyway, finish the project, and yeah, whenever you're ready, go ahead and send me the bill, because yeah, it's a couple thousands of dollars. It's wild what some of these conspiracy theorist people believe. Like, what? hey, you, I don't like your girlfriend. I don't like your Afro body swaps. Right? It's what they think everyone, when you are a normal person and you start becoming a celebrity, that before you reach true celebrity status, that you were like kidnapped, and they clone all your memories and stuff, and they get rid of the real you. Or sometimes there's some that they like lock away somewhere, and then the clone is switched. So if you were like a switched, and they trans your gender. You're gonna be like a girl and you want to be a celebrity, they make you a guy celebrity, which is why all the guy celebrities are pretty. And then if you were a guy and you wanted to be a celebrity, they put you into a female body for your clone. Sorry, the clone's the female body, or some bullshit. And that's why all female celebrities are so tall. And I was like, if they're already doing an alternate version of your clone, couldn't they just make you short? I don't understand how all female celebrities being tall proves that they uncloned cells was a guy. But okay, Crazy Town, whatever you say. What if they switch you again? Would that make you a switch too? There's a theory that politicians are lizard people too. Yeah, but a lot of people don't like that theory, because I guess the lizard people stuff is like leftover. It's like in connection to some like anti-Semitic stuff. I don't know. Again, I don't really get into conspiracy theories that much. I'm happy just learning about cryptids and humans. But there's something where, like, I guess the roots of like the lizard people stuff is like actually anti-Semitic. It's like against certain minorities. So I don't know. I'll be honest up front and say I don't know enough to actually comment about it. It's like, where's the straight robot? Like, it's so weird. There's so many like conspiracy theories that I'm like, and I was just listening to this podcast. I had to keep showing up to her workplace for like days because we were working on the Grammy red carpet stuff. And so many of the podcasts were genuinely that insane, with that wild. And she believed all of it, and she was like she was slowly brainwashing me, and I was like, I wanna leave, but I already committed and signed a contract, and I'm under NDA, and I gotta finish this garment, do. So I will say, be very careful when you have your own business over what people you associate with. I did a couple jobs for her because like I needed money, and then after we didn't like need the money from her anymore, I was like, I know if I had kept working with her, I would have gotten some great contracts. I probably would have already had our embroidery in movies, but I just genuinely felt so uncomfortable hanging around her. I was like, I'm gonna slowly distance myself from this contract. I don't think every contact is a good contact, you know, like the people you know are a reflection of you, and I did not want that reflection, and I did not want to know her too much anymore. It was wild. It was crazy. None of this stuff made sense. Like, you could ask any question that was like an obvious loophole, obvious flaw in the logic. And then it's just an excuse for their brains to come up with something wilder, something crazier. And I'm like, okay. Avril Lavigne being replaced? Yeah. But now imagine that with everybody. They think all celebrities, everyone famous, was actually a clone of someone else who was handpicked, who was gonna be famous. And they made this reverse clone and brainwashed them and I don't know. It was weird. If they were like politically important enough, they keep the original locked up somewhere. That way, in case anything happens to the clone, where like people, like family and stuff, are like questioning what's wrong, because it's not quite a perfect duplicate of them. It's not quite, just has the memories of the original, so then they can bring out the original to like keep updating the clone. It's weird stuff. It's weird stuff that they're thinking. My mother is a goddess, so you're a demigod? No, my daddy is Zeus. That's horrifying. now you're a cryptid, a conspiracy. Oh no, please no. Please, I'm always so upfront and honest. I'm the most lame, boring person you know. There's no conspiracy theory here. I'm just lame. Please, I'm just lame. Please, I'm just blue and I'm lame. There's nothing to see here. There's nothing else behind the curtain. I'm just lame. Oh. I'm sure because trans people will be hunting them down, right? Like please. I think if you were making duplicate alternate clones that were all trans, you would think trans rights would be so much further ahead than they are. But then it was something like, no, like they have to keep the information away from the populace because it will unlock the brains and make it harder to track the clones, and I don't know. It was weird stuff, and the egg shortage was foreshadowed by Lady Gaga's music video all that time ago. That's what a conspiracy would say. Get her! Right away! Hide me, baby raccoon! Hide me, I'm gonna hide behind here. So yeah, I will say, it's when I worked with like other companies and I was just an employee, sometimes you don't have a lot of power to say no to certain situations or no to certain customers. Like if a customer's bothering you and you're a waitress, but like the boss keeps saying, oh no, keep letting that customer back in, you feel very unempowered, right? It's really hard to say that when your boss is the ultimate person who can make the final call and keeps letting people back in. It's really hard to stand up for yourself. Running our own business and basically being your own boss, me and Roots being our own bosses, gives us a lot more like safety and security as far as who we interact with. And that did give me the confidence. I was feeling so, because it was early in our career for Cryptid Roots. It was early in the business that we made this contact. And I could say like, oh, like I could wither and feel bad. I'd be like, oh no, she knew so many important people. She could have gotten us great connections. Our business could be further along. It could be more famous. We could have done more cool projects. But at the end of the day, after we finished, after I did the work I signed up to do, and there was that option to keep that contact, I felt so bad about it at first. Because I wasn't used to being able to say no to certain business stuff, because I worked for other people for so long. But it was actually really empowering to realize, like, oh, I can't get in trouble with myself. We're our own bosses. Roots isn't going to be mad at me for not working with this person anymore. I'm not going to be mad at Roots for not working with this person anymore. We can just say no. We can just not work with this crazy person anymore. We can just decide, like, no, actually, we do not like that for our branding. Goodbye. It was really empowering to actually like make that line for ourselves, to actually say like, oh no, thank you, goodbye. And here's the swamps for Florida. We have made the most wonderful discovery since Mothman, the Blueba. National Geographic. Oh my god, that'll be insane. That'll be insane if I become one day as popular for cryptid as some of the greats like Mothman, like Fresno, Nightcrawler. That'll be insane. Like Nessie. Oh my god. My name will be up there one point. You'll be like, oh, what's this new cryptid called? And you'll just be like, oh, well, you see, she wasn't the best at naming. She just called herself Cryptid. Yeah, but okay, what's the specific name for her as a cryptid? You're not gonna believe this. Her name is just Cryptid. And you'll be like, oh, so she's just stupid. And you're like, a little. There's only so many blue brain cells in there. Listen. Fresno Nightcrawler's hanging on my desk. Aww. We did a custom order of that actually for a customer recently. That was fun. I guess they didn't want Fresno at the top of it. They just wanted to say Nightcrawler with a little picture of the guy. It was a little funny walk. So we got rid of the Fresno at the top of the patch for him. I don't know why. Beware, the newest cryptid! Cryptid! Who's this cryptid? I said I'll use this Pokemon voice. The Blueba, the cryptid of cryptids. She's the queen of cryptids. Oh dear god, I don't even know how to be in charge of raccoons. I don't think I can be the queen of cryptids. Can you imagine me having a sense of authority over anyone? I feel bad for them. Okay, well, it is almost 1:30 in the morning. The candy corn patch. Oh, did you see it on our social media? Yeah, we've actually had that one for fucking months, and I've just been so goddamn behind on updating our Etsy shop that I never took product photos of it. But at least now there's product photos of it. Now it's in the Etsy shop. We always sell out of it in person. We make a lot of stock of it for in-person events. That then we sell out, and I forget to add it to the shop. But now it is in the shop. Now there's a whole section in real life on our patch walls for mini patches. There's so many types of mini patches. They're so cute. There's so many of them. There's only a handful of them on the Etsy shop. I have to get good. I had to buckle down and do product photos for a lot of them. Cryptid World Archie's giving Cryptid a lot of important roles and leading roles of power. And Cryptid's not aware of any of it. Cryptid's like, what do you mean I'm in charge of this college? I didn't even know we had a raccoon college. What do you mean? Like, Cryptid's just like... Cryptid's just what? Blanking out. She don't know. She don't know nothing. Poor Archie's over there like, I sent it to you in an email. You have emails of all the new roles you've been given. And I'm like, I have an email? Roots, show me my email. What's email? Oh, and that's what's happening in the Cryptid Roots universe. But otherwise, it's about to be 1:30 in the morning here. I think I'm being sidetracked this whole entire time now that I'm feeling better. There's a video for you. Oh, because you said it. Yep, it's always listening. It's always recommending the stuff you guys are talking about. Over 5,000 emails of stuff sent by Archie. I know this is pretend. I know this is just us joking about the universe. I literally... My chest hurt at the idea that I missed 5,000 important emails. My chest hurt for a second. I was like, no. Ooh, reminder for everyone to hydrate. That's right, everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah, everyone hydrate or dihydrate. Here's a sippy. And I think Mash is right. I think I'm gonna take it easy today. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I know we only really did 2 stories tonight. I think today was like my coming back thing, right? I was feeling better. I was capable to stream today. So I think today was a nice little intro back into it, and mostly just yapping, right? Telling my silly stories, having fun with you guys, getting back into the swing of being part of my little raccoon cryptid cult. So I think next time I'll try and send a notice up earlier. I'll try to poke everyone in the story queue, and I think the next few streams we're going to be serious about getting everyone read, getting everyone up to date, and that way we can reopen the queue soon. I would like to do it within a week, because we have the next woe in 3 weeks. So that's kind of the game plan. Anyways, I'm so happy. I'm so thankful for you guys all joining me tonight and for checking on me and for everyone who sent well wishes and checked in hoping that I was safe and that I was good. That was all very sweet of you guys. But yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I have a few rough days every month. It's just the normal. It will happen before, it will happen again. It's just the bit. It's just life. So, but I will see you guys next stream. And yeah, we'll get a lot of reading done. I'll try to focus. I'll focus that time. Anyway, you try to add in my drafts on the key when it's up. Yep, just a few more. I'm hoping within a week. That's gonna be my goal. Everyone else, good night and goodbye. I'll see you guys later. Good night.